We begin today's broadcast by acknowledging the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the lands and waters where we gather today. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sydney for Day 2 of the Australian Rowing Championships, supported proudly by the New South Wales Government's Tourism and Major Events agency, Destination New South Wales. Discover everything Sydney has to offer at sydney.com. And this morning I'm joined in the commentary box by Richard Dawson. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Ray. Great to be here.
So your first gig in the morning, so...
Early morning starts are not usually my thing, but luckily Lizzie Chapman's coming to save me very soon, I believe.
Oh, that's what we normally have up here with Lizzie. So what are we looking forward to today from your perspective?
Well, another great day of racing, of course. We'll see the repechage up first of the largely the single sculling events we saw kick off yesterday. So a lot of cutthroat racing. I was listening to you while driving up the highway yesterday to get here, and lots of rowers missing out in top spot, having to go through a repechage. That'll happen first up this morning.
And interestingly, you said driving up the highway, you just did 3 days of commentary at Geelong, and some of the youngsters who were in these first races this morning raced at Geelong on Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday afternoon, yeah, until about 4 o'clock. A lot of them beat me up here too. They took the smart route by plane, I think. But yeah, many of those, especially the school girls at the head of the school girls regatta, obviously, were racing at 8 o'clock yesterday morning.
Amazing. So we look forward to bringing you all of those races today, ladies and gentlemen. A perfect morning here in Sydney at the International Regatta Centre, and we'll be bringing you the first event at 8 a.m.
Of the 2024 Australian Rowing Championships. Destination New South Wales. Hancock Prospecting. The Australian Sports Commission and the Australian Institute of Sport. Penrith City Council. 776 BC. Bont Rowing. Colgan Foundation. Inglewood Coffee Roasters. Bolle. Bannister Downs Dairy. Temper. Ticketmaster. The Regatta Shop. Sixt Australia. Sykes Rowing. Concept 2. And Croker Oars. With support from Rowing New South Wales. Rowing Australian Capital Territory. Rowing Queensland. Rowing South Australia. Rowing Tasmania. Rowing Victoria. And Rowing Western Australia.
Upbeat. Downbeat. Feel its heartbeat. Open spaces. Open arms. Open all night. Come feel it all. And feel new.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined in the commentary box this morning by Rowing Australia, the Australian rowing team's chief dietitian, Bronwyn Lundy. Welcome, Bron.
Hey, Ray. Good to see you.
And you. Now, it says you're a dietitian, but nutrition is so important for rowers, especially at the level that you're working.
Yeah, absolutely. You may have noticed our rowers are big humans. They have a really big muscle mass and they train a lot. So if you're a tall person, a lot of muscle mass, and you do 6 hours of training a day, that's a lot of eggs and toast that you need to get in to sort that out. Yeah.
So in my time with the team, there was a lot of first breakfast, training session, second breakfast, training session, lunch, maybe a bit of a rest.
Afternoon tea.
Afternoon tea. So
snack post next session.
Six times a day eating?
Look for the women, we're talking about something like 20,000 kilojoules, and for the men it can be up to 30,000 kilojoules a day, and that's on average. So sometimes it would be a little bit higher and sometimes a bit lower. For me, I'd be looking at something like 10 to 12,000 kilojoules a day.
So about half of what the athletes are eating?
Yeah, a bit less than half, yeah.
So you're saying 6 hours a day, so you've got to get enough fuel into them to be able to do that day after day after day.
And they get bored of eating because it's so much eating, you know, so we try and make things tempting. Sometimes we do pancakes, we've got a lolly jar, we've got flavoured milk. Bannister Downs supports us with fantastic milk product, and we go through litres and litres and litres of flavoured milk. I would order for the men's centre maybe 150 bananas a week. The women have slightly less, but they're really big on the yogurt.
So in a place like Lucerne, for instance, where the team goes every year to race, you've milks and your bananas, or?
We do. Our boatman Urs helped us to find a sort of Costco of Switzerland, which we've used sometimes, but more often we're cleaning out all the chocolate milk in all the stores all through Lucerne. When we went to Linz, there was literally no chocolate milk in any of the supermarkets in the town. Yeah. So
a place like Linz only has an international regatta every 2 or 3 years or so, whereas Lucerne's a bit more used to it, of course.
Yeah, a bit bigger place.
Yeah. So, and lightweight rowing, there's only 2 events left on the calendar these days for the Olympic Games. So the lightweights are eating less?
Oh yeah, definitely, and they have to be more conscious. Planned out, you know, when am I going to eat to optimise this training session that I need to do, and when can I be a little bit more cautious with my energy intake? Yeah, for sure.
So the Australian Institute of Sport has their European Training Centre in Gavirate in Italy. The food intake there is the food in my time was never really great. Has that improved?
Oh yeah, definitely has. We have the caterer that's there now is a really lovely group that are used to athletes, and the food quality is really quite good. We do have to remind them sometimes they have a lot of vegetables and fruit and things, which is absolutely how you want to eat, and it's, you know, my dream food availability for me personally, but sometimes we just have to say they've ended up putting on an extra spaghetti bolognese at lunchtime, you know, just to bump it out and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Get the pasta into you. Yeah.
Absolutely, yep.
Now, there's been fads in eating over time, but you're saying don't go with dietary supplements, go with good, natural, wholesome food.
Oh, look, I mean, you can't survive as a rower on supplements. You just got to get enough of the right foods in at the right time. And we're saying, you know, first breakfast, second breakfast, but there's training snacks in the middle there as well.
Yeah. So the bars, the muesli bars, those sort of things.
Yeah. We have a range of things to have on water at both the centres. We've got like the fruit squeezy pouches, we've got bananas, we've got muesli bars. We've got little bags that they can put some lollies in, and that provides a really good fuel too.
And the other things like the gels and that?
We use those also. They're convenient and, you know, packaged up for use in sport, but really nutritionally they're not any different from a lolly. They're just sugar in a bag, basically. Yep.
And a lot of young athletes watch television, so they get indoctrinated into things like Gatorade or, you know, these energy drinks. What's your view on those?
Actually, a sports drink can be quite helpful. So we're not talking about an energy drink like
Red Bull
or not with caffeine. We're not talking about that, but like a Powerade, Staminade, Gatorade, those kind of things. It's providing a little bit of the sugar and a little bit of hydration and a little bit of the electrolytes. So that can be helpful, particularly if it's a bit hotter. But you can also drink fruit juice or cordial or something like that.
And
It's
the
a bit
fruit
cheaper.
juice has natural sugars plus a bit of added sugar, which they need.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
Now, my last question, Bronnie, is coffee.
Yeah.
They're all drinking coffee.
Yes.
And
Not everyone.
at your direction, or they just like drinking coffee?
Oh, look, I think coffee is aligned culturally pretty well with rowing. It's early starts and busy days, and, you know, it's nice having a cup of coffee with the sunrise. I think coffee is definitely something that rowers enjoy.
And I understand the sponsorship coffee is going beautifully.
Oh, it is really amazing. Inglewood Coffee, it's fantastic. We have quite a fancy coffee machine at both the men's and women's centres, and we all had barista training. So, yeah, when we have visitors, we can make a, you know, double shot flat white or macchiato or whatever you need.
So you're a dietitian, you're a nutritionist, and a barista.
At the centre, we have, both at the women and the men, we have designated coffee experts, and they're the go-to for, you know, we had the Governor General come to the men's centre, and Angus Dawson was the coffee maker for him. He did an exceptional job.
So that degree he's done in America has helped him become a barista?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So, Bronnie, thanks for coming up to join us this morning. We wish you all the very best. You'll be travelling a lot this year.
Yeah.
How do your boys deal with that?
Oh, they're better now. They're a bit older. Yeah. I'm doing 2 stints of about 4 weeks each, so I get to see them in the middle, which is good.
People may not be interested, but I had a holiday after I retired from being the manager of the Australian rowing team, and I'm going through Vancouver Airport, and my wife says, there's a woman over there waving at you. And it was Bronwyn. It was Bronwyn going from the World Championships in Sarasota to present at a conference in Vancouver, and we just happened to be getting off planes and going past each other in a random airport, you know, thousands of miles away.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning or something,
It was
wasn't
ridiculous.
it? It was ridiculous. Yeah.
So thanks, Bronnie. It's great to see you, and good luck with the team this year.
Thanks, Ray.
In every corner of this great country, Australians are chasing their dreams to be the best at what they do. In Australia and on the world stage. Through persistence and commitment, teamwork and resilience. With pride in what they do. Even in the toughest of times during the pandemic, pathways were found. With a shared vision to represent Australia, to be the best they can be, and to contribute to our nation.
Our patron, Gina Reinhardt, helps to give me the leadership and inspiration
to want to be the best.
To climb the biggest mountains of our lives.
Setting myself up now and into the future.
Like these great Australians, we too continually strive to be the best at everything we do.
We have varied and exciting career opportunities across our mining and agricultural businesses. To join Australia's most successful private company group, head to futureaustralianjobs.com for more information.
Sixt Car and Truck Rental is ready, Australia. Electric vehicles, they're as charged as we are. BYO engine noises.
Rowing Australia would like to thank all event volunteers who have generously provided their time to become one of the volunteer team. Your dedication and commitment ensures that we can provide a successful and enjoyable event for all. When you're around the regatta this week, be sure to thank our great volunteers and volunteer boat race officials for all of their support they're giving us and you this week. Hancock Prospecting are the proud principal partners of Rowing Australia and the Australian rowing team, and wish all competitors and athletes a successful regatta. Don't forget to check out our traders and boat builders in the boat park to service your boats and provide spare parts. We have Sykes, Croker Oars, Wintec, RowFit, Row Gear and Perfect Balance Rowing. Check out the traders in our regatta village. There's a range of products and services on offer. We've got you covered from head to toe with high-definition sports lenses from Bollé, rowing jewellery from Sport Republic, rowing apparel from 776BC and innovative rowing shoes from Bont Rowing. Plus, don't forget to pick up your official merchandise from the Regatta Shop. There are refreshments available thanks to Bonsoy. Row Gear has you covered with rowing accessories. Wexworks have LED lights and safety vests for sale. Pontoon Sports and Rival Kit have custom apparel available. Check out our health and wellness traders. Elements Float Health Spa for all of your recovery needs. And Gotcha for Life, a foundation dedicated to building a mentally fit future, who are here raising money with the 24-hour row. In the event of an emergency or evacuation here at the Sydney International Regatta Centre, please follow the direction of event and venue staff. All cyclists must wear a helmet throughout this venue. Dogs must be kept on a leash and kept under control at all times. Please avoid leaving bags or personal belongings unattended. And let's keep Cirque clean. Make sure you put your rubbish in the bins provided. Be sure to stay sun smart and slip, slop, slap and sip. Slip on a long-sleeved shirt after racing, slop on some sunscreen, slap on a hat and sip on some water to keep you hydrated. For the latest results and the daily draws, visit our website arc.rowingaustralia.com.au.
So, Lizzie, race 1 is about to get underway. They're in the starters' hands, and isn't that sun shiny? Thank you, Lachlan.
That's fantastic. Indeed. The sun is shining on the under-17 women's single sculls who are about to start the repechage process to try and get into the semi-final. In lane 1, Matilda Schroeder from St Patrick's, Townsville. In lane 2, Isabel Egan from Radford College. In lane 3, Sarah Thomas from St Mary's College, Tasmania. In lane 4, Eloise Stevens from Mossman Rowing Club in Sydney. In lane 5, Chloe Hitchens from Glebe Rowing Club of Sydney. In lane 6, Emily Edison from St Patrick's, Townsville. In lane 7, Hannah Kosh from Radford College. And in lane 8, Eve Parker from MLC School here in New South Wales.
And Radford College sculler there, Hannah Kosh, had just come across onto her bow side there and had got caught up on the buoys, but she's trying to rectify that situation now and has straightened her boat up. And is back into the centre of the lane. So a high quality field. As we alluded to yesterday, the higher you finished in your heat means which lane you're going to be in the repechage. So highest finishers would have been Sarah Thomas, Eloise Stevens, Chloe Hitchens and Emily Edison. One would think that that's where the speed's going to be set in this race, although closer to the judges' tower is Radford College, Hannah Kosh and Eve Parker of the MLC School. But very difficult to see this morning, Lizzie, after that beautiful cloudy morning yesterday where we could see absolutely everything.
Yes, it is. And thank goodness for the footage that we're getting from the umpires' launch and from the cameras down the side of the course. It's assisting us to be able to see what's going on. Yes, in the middle of the course, in lane 4, Eloise Stevens. In lane 5, Chloe Hitchens. They were second in their heat. Both of them had pretty hard races. And the cameras just now were on Chloe Hitchens from Glebe Rowing Club, who's in lane 5, who had pretty hard race. She led most of the way, and then I think we saw, was it Isabella Henderson from Armidale School come through and take her at the finish. But she's off to a cracking start, coming through the 1,000-metre mark. We've got Sarah Thomas in the lead. So she, as you mentioned, was the St Mary's College sculler who also did really well in the heat. She's coached by Susan Weeding there in Tasmania.
So less than a second between first and second, less than a second between second and third, and less than a second third and fourth, and less than a second fourth and fifth. So as we expected, it's a close-fought contest between those centre lanes, and on the outside they've got a bit of work to do, but Radford College sculler Hannah Kosh has recovered from that earlier run-in with the line of boys and is going okay at the moment. But very difficult to see, but we're getting beautiful pictures through from the umpire's launch, and we're able to make some informed comment through there.
We are. So it looks as though Sarah Thomas continues to lead as we come up to the 1,500 metre mark, with Chloe Hitchens looking as though she's sitting in second. Emily Edison from St Patrick's Townsville just beside her in lane 6 and just behind her. And then back a little bit to Eloise Stevens from Mossman.
And the Glebe scullers on 31 strokes to the minute there and sculling quite nicely. We can see a couple of bicycles following the race down. And then the St Mary's College sculler Sarah Thomas, she's coached by Susan Weeding and going very nicely indeed as they approach the 1,000 metre mark. They're well into the second 500, 3 minutes and 45 seconds done, and we'd expect them to come through the halfway mark in about 4 minutes 10, Lizzie, something like that at this level?
Yeah, I would have, if they're having a really cracking row, yes. Otherwise, possibly a little bit more. I'm just looking there. I think, is that the lane 1 sculler or lane 2? Isabel Egan from Radford College is in lane 2. She's coached by Oscar Willink and Megan Fritsch. And St Patrick's Townsville are in lane 1. Matilda Schroeder, coached by Harrison Parks, who you mentioned yesterday.
Yep. So they've gone through the 1,000 metre mark now, and the race is starting to take some shape, and the peloton is growing on the far side of the course.
Sarah Thomas continuing to lead. Chloe Hitchens still sitting in second place. Isabel Egan from Radford College now easing into third, and Emily Edison pushed into fourth. Eloise Stevens now sitting in fifth position.
And the other scullers, Matilda Schroeder, Hannah Kosh and Eve Parker, just a little bit too far off the pace to work their way through into the semi-finals. Just the first two to go to the semi-final, which will be rowed tomorrow, and the remaining scullers will be eliminated. I would hazard a guess, though, Lizzie, a lot of these will be rowing the schoolgirl single later in the program.
Possibly, yeah. Under 17 is usually year 10 single, but yes, quite possibly if they're here at the Nationals in the under 17 women's single. Some of them will definitely be representing. And of course there are under 17 doubles, which are, as we saw, of a very high standard, and starting, I think it's Wednesday, under 17 quads.
The under 17 doubles yesterday
events.
I thought were outstanding.
Yeah.
A very, very good standard indeed, and some very good racing amongst them. But certainly our leader continues to be Sarah Thomas of St Mary's College in Tasmania. I'm not sure whether it's in the north or the south, St Mary's College. I'm sure someone will be able to tell us.
And so to the side of Sarah Thomas from St Mary's College, a good battle going on there from
Isabel Egan of Radford College.
Radford College, yeah. On the one side, and then on the other side, Chloe Hitchens. So we mentioned the coaches there at Radford College. At Glebe Rowing Club, the coaches of Chloe Hitchens is Milan Parker. He also coaches Lucy Yabsley, who we saw take out the first heat of the under-19 single scull yesterday. Lucy won the silver medal at Nationals last year, coached by Milan in the single scull for Glebe, and this year is after the under-19 title, and I know Chloe would absolutely love to take the under-17 title, but she's got a battle on her hands now. Isabel Egan is less than 2 seconds behind her. Chloe is 0.92 down on Sarah Thomas at the 1,500 metre mark.
So those three are going to become two when it comes to the line. There's only 2 spots to go through, first and second only. So Sarah Thomas from Tasmania leading Chloe Hitchens from Sydney. Glebe Rowing Club in Sydney, as I said yesterday, making a great comeback after being almost dormant a few years ago, and Milan Parker deserves a lot of credit for that.
Certainly does. So Chloe Hitchens, Sarah Thomas, I should say, was the silver medalist at the Tasmanian State Championships in the under-17 single scull, which is great form. She did a time there of 8:43, but we've got beautiful conditions here, so I would imagine she's going to be able to get a better time than that. Chloe Hitchens was 4th in this event at the New South Wales State Championships, but she did win the IGSA regatta, the Independent Girls School Regatta, and I'm pretty sure she was the she was gold medalist there and silver medalist at the Schoolgirl Head of the River in New South Wales.
And I think they've got it sewn up now, Sarah Thomas and Chloe Hitchens. It looks like Isabel Egan has just about run out of petrol tickets, and there's only about 200 metres left to go. And first and second still to be determined, because Chloe Hitchens is going for the win. She's trying to peg back Sarah Thomas and may have her bow in front now. Certainly Isabel Egan will be in third place, but that won't get her into the semi-finals. Fourth is Eloise Stevens of Mossman. Then across to St Patrick's Townsville, Emily Edison. But first and second only to go through, and it'll be the glebe sculler Chloe Hitchens that'll get up in the dying stages to grab the win here in the repechage one of the under-17 women's single scull. She'll win it by almost a length on the line. She's had a great second half of the race. Chloe Hitchens first, St Mary's College Sarah Thomas second, Radford College will be third, St Patrick's Townsville will be fourth, fifth then will be sixth will be on the far side of the course Matilda Schroeder of St Patrick's Townsville. LC School, unofficially 8 minutes 38, 8:38. 9. And Lizzie, they're underway in the next one.
They are indeed. So just recapping then, in the first repechage, I should say, a win for Glebe Rowing Club's Chloe Hitchens in a time of 8:38. Second, Sarah Thomas from St Mary's College, and those two will progress through to the semi-final.
And I've just been told that race 2 has been stopped, is that right? Well,
I'll carry on with the results then. And in third place, Radford College, Isabel Egan. She's now eliminated from the event, along with fourth placed Emily Edison from St Patrick's Townsville. Fifth place, Eloise Stephen from Mossman. Sixth, Matilda Schroeder from St Patrick's Townsville. Seventh, Hannah Kosh from Radford College. And eighth, Eve Parker from MLC School. So the second repechage has just now started. It's been restarted, so we're just in time, Razor. It was all deliberate, folks, all deliberate.
All deliberate, yeah.
In lane 1, in our second repechage, we have Tilly Wise from Buckingham, coached by Hamish Johnston. In lane 2, Gigi Hickey from Radford College, coached by Oscar Willink and Megan Fritsch. In lane 3, Bethany Peaty from St Aidan's Anglican Girls' School in Queensland, coached by Ashley Dighton and Jordana Wareham. In lane 4, Georgie Twelfthtree from Unley High in South Australia. In lane 5, Charlotte Olivia from St George Rowing Club, coached by Mark Featherston. In lane 6, Olivia Grant from Commercial Rowing Club in Queensland, coached by Ross Batho and David Van Das. In lane 7, Izzy Bugg from Ascombe School, coached by Chris McCarthy, myself, and Gemma Coué. And in lane 8, from Glebe Rowing Club, Giselle Dueza, coached by Nicholas Scalea. So that's Glebe Rowing Club again, a different coach this time, and a younger and less experienced athlete than Chloe Hitchens.
And it looks like it's lane 4, Unley High. Georgie Twelfthtree, who's quite prominent there.
She is. She's the under-17 champion of South Australia, and she won in a time of 8:51 at their championship. So it'll be interesting to see what she can do.
So quite a big contingent from Unley High. I saw some of the doubles yesterday afternoon are going quite well from Unley High. So a big contingent from South Australia generally this year at the Sydney International Regatta Centre.
We have another interesting sculler here. Yesterday we saw Talia Turnbull win her heat in fine style. Today we have Gigi Hickey from Radford College ACT. Talia rose for Canberra Rowing Club. Gigi rose for Radford College. She was the silver medalist at the state championships in ACT. And Isabel Egan, who we saw perform so strongly for Radford in the last race, was the bronze medalist. But in ACT they race over 1,800 metres. Here it's that last 200.
Yes, exactly.
Just
so
got to add that on.
Lane 7 coming through the middle there. Your charge there, Isabel Bugg, is right in the mix there, Lizzie.
Which is great to see. So although they're the same age group, Izzy is less experienced than Chloe and has just started doing 2,000 metre racing this year, as I would imagine quite a few of the girls have. So I think it takes a season, but she's really been improving, as have a number of these girls, watching them through the season. So it's great to see them all coming. It's just so fantastic to all be together at the National Championships and be able to race each other.
So the New South Wales St George Rowing Club sculler Charlotte Olivier, coached by Mark Featherston, is right in the mix there as well. So at the moment, the sculler from St Aidan's is off the pace a bit, but it's Georgie 12-3. Charlotte Olivia Grant is back off the pace, but Isabel Bugg is right there in the mix as well. So it's Georgie 12-3 from South Australia, Isabel Bugg, Charlotte Olivia and Olivia Grant. And I think the rest are off the pace and not going to be in contention for one of those 2 spots to go through to the semi-finals to be rowed tomorrow. At a similar time, I imagine, tomorrow morning.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
So, Lizzie, while they're coming down, I've just been told that lane 1 in the next event is not started. Xenia Palmer.
Yep, she's got a pretty big race schedule, so I'm actually not surprised.
Yeah. So the pace being set here still by Georgie 12-3, looking to get a spot into the semi-final. The heat winners will be in the centre lanes. The repechage winners will be in the next lanes. And those that have finished second in the repechages will be in the outside lanes in the semi-finals tomorrow morning. But Georgie 12-3 from Unley High, under pressure from the Ascombe sculler Isabel Bugg. I'll keep you calm down here, Lizzie, although you've been coaching long enough to not get overly excited when one of your charges is winning a race. But 12-3 from Unley High and Isabel Bugg from the Ascombe School in Sydney are our 2 leaders. Another one of our commentators, Chris McCarthy, also coaching Isabel.
Maybe we need to get Gemma up here too.
Yeah. But I think still 12-3 would have our bow narrowly in front over Isabel Bugg, and they look to me as though they've cleared out and opened up some clear water over the rest of the field, headed probably by Charlotte Olivia of St George Rowing Club.
Yeah, Charlotte's been, I think, getting steadily better throughout the season. So the fantastic opportunity here for her to, and same with Izzy, to expand their experience of sculling and actually race people from other states. And already I think a number of us who coach this age level are really looking forward to taking our charges to the beautiful lake there in Tasmania, Lake Barrington, where we will hold the national championships next year.
And it seems to be a pattern with the under-17s that they're around for 3 or 4 years. Some of them are only 13 and 14 when they begin in these.
That's true, yes.
Yeah. And as you said, Lake Barrington next year is a great venue for them. But I think first and second are cut and dried. Who's first, who's second is still to be determined. Pushing through still is Charlotte Olivia. Clearly in third place, the Olivia Grant of Commercial is right there with her and probably in fourth place. Then back to Bethany Peaty of St Aidan's, Gigi Hickey of Radford College. Far side of the course then Tilly Wise, and on this side Giselle Dueza is at the rear of the field. But it's a all the way win coming up for Georgie 12-3 of Unley High, and sitting nice and tall in the seat there, getting plenty of length, getting the boat running nicely. Isabel Bugg of New South Wales Ascombe School will finish in second place. And a good race for the minor ends of the prize there, but they won't go through to the semi-final. Charlotte Olivia of St George will be third. Just dropping the rating just a touch. Georgie 12-3 of Unley High across first. Second, Ascombe's Isabel Bugg. Still battling for third and fourth here. Commercial and St George. And it will be St George narrowly over Commercial in fourth place. Fifth then St Aidan's. Sixth is Radford College. Seventh will be Buckingham and eighth will be Glebe. And the winning time 8:36.71 and the margin's 4.93 by 6.52, and they're well down the course in the next one, Lizzie.
They are. So repechage number 3 in the under-17 women's single scull, race 93 on the programme, underway now. As we said, Xenia Palmer from Sydney Rowing Club has scratched. In lane 2 we have Tiana Cutts from Genesis Christian College, coached by Ray Smith. In lane 3, Willa Dunbar from Brisbane and GPS, coached by Maddie Pakila and Nigel Stubbs. In lane 4, Lucy Reedy from Kinross Walleroy School. In lane lane 5, Holly Wilkie from St Patrick's Townsville, coached by Harrison Parks. Next to her in lane 6, Georgia Cresswell from St Patrick's Townsville, also coached by Harrison Parks. In lane 7, Sabrina Koskar from Leichhardt Rowing Club, also a Ascombe sculler, coached at Leichhardt by Isaac Shepherd and Dua Kalantar. And in lane 8 from Genesis Christian College, Jessica Carroll, coached by Ray Smith.
The vagaries of the draw, the two Genesis scullers are the same. The vagaries of the random draw, the two Genesis scullers in the same repechage and the two St Pat's Townsville scullers in the same repechage.
Yep.
So that's just the way it falls, but at the moment it is Sabrina Coxer of Leichhardt, I'd suggest, who's leading from the Kinross Wallaroi sculler, Lucy Reedy. So Kinross Wallaroi, for those of you not familiar, out in Orange in New South Wales. And Joe Donnelly, who began the program there some time ago. In fact, it is the Kinross sculler who leads. Lucy Reedy is the leader over in Station 4. Over the Leichhardt sculler, Sabrina Coxer in second place. Then back to Willa Dunbar, and Tiana Cutts is in fourth place. Holly Wilkie is in fifth. Then follows Jessica Carroll in sixth place. And then some margin back to the remainder of the field, headed by Georgia Cresswell, who's in seventh place. But it is the Kinross Wallaroi sculler. I can't see the sun so bright, whether she's in a blue boat, but that is the custom at Kinross Wallaroi. They normally row in a pale blue craft. And clearly in second place is the Leichhardt Rowing Club sculler, Sabrina Coxer, who's coached by Isaac Shepherd and Julia Kalantar.
Who was himself a fine sculler at school. Trying to remember which school, whether it was Shaw, can't remember. Sorry, Dua, apologies for that. But yes, they run a junior programme there at Leichhardt, which is both boys and girls, under the captaincy of Daniela Bourget, who's a very well-known Masters sculler there at Leichhardt Rowing Club. It's a big rowing club, a big programme on Iron Cove.
And yeah, I've actually got a book at home about Leichhardt Rowing Club.
Have you?
And my,
yes.
my guest, Karen Phillips, has been reading the book while she was staying at our home in Queensland.
And of course, what's interesting about that is Pymble Ladies College boat from there, and I think they went in together to rebuild the boat shed some years ago now. Gillian Campbell and Mark Campbell used to head up the Pymble programme. Now it's Carl Schmidt.
Okay, there you go. So it is the Kinross Wallaroi sculler, Lucy Reedy. She's going to go through to tomorrow's semi-final, along with Leichhardt Sabrina Coxer. They all finish first and second. The race for the minor ends of the prize, headed by Brisbane and GPS Willa Dunbar. Right with her is Tiana Cutts of Genesis Christian College. She's likely to finish fourth, I'd say, although the sculler on this side from St Pat's Townsville, Holly Wilkie, is in the mix as well. But a very good win to Lucy Reedy of Kinross Wallaroi. Second will be Leichhardt Sabrina Coxer. Third will be the Brisbane and GPS sculler Willa Dunbar. Fourth, yes, she'll hang on, Tiana Cutts of Genesis Christian College. Then follows St Patrick's Townsville in Station 5. Sixth then will be Genesis Christian College, and seventh will be St Pat's Townsville. Winning time 8:35.60, 8:35.60. The margin 10.20 and 5.15, and the next one's through the 1,000-metre mark, Lizzie.
It is indeed. It's on today, isn't it? Race 94 is the fourth repechage of the under-17 women's single scull. So this is our penultimate repechage, and again, the first two will progress through to the semi-final. In lane 1, representing Trinity Lutheran College of Queensland, Sophie Clifford, coached by Eric Rowan and Victoria Earle. In lane 2, from Norwood International High in South Australia, Sophia Alashina, coached by Alison Smith and Brenton Terrell. In lane 3, from Newcastle Grammar School, Roxana Brown. In lane 4, from Loretto Normanhurst, who's have a shed right here at the Sydney International Regatta Centre, Patricia Boland, known as Patty Boland, coached by Tom Parker and Lily Gavin. In lane 5, from St Patrick's Townsville, Keely Adabar, coached by Harrison Parks. In lane 6, from Mersey Rowing Club in Tasmania, Matilda Spalding, coached by David Tippett and Merv Tippett. And in lane 7, from St Mary's College in Tasmania, Imogen Stewart, coached again by Susan Weeding, this time with also Marita Coate and Sam Vasquez.
Mersey Rowing Club had a checkered trip back from the National Championships in Western Australia last year. I came across their towing vehicle with a broken axle, and the trailer was still upright, so the driver did a fantastic job just outside of Coolgardie last year, so they never even got out of Western Australia, but got the trailer home safely in the end. So we thank all those volunteers who drive boat trailers all over the country to get there.
It's a bit nerve-wracking, I have to say. So in this race, we have the gold medalist from the New South Wales State Championships in this event, Patty Boland. She's in lane 4.
And leading.
And leading, I'm sure, coached by Thomas Parker and Lily Gavin. Patty also very fast in a double, so looking forward to seeing her later in this programme. Roxana Brown next to her in lane 3. Although she's from Newcastle Grammar School, she did win gold at the ACT State Championships in this event. And in lane 2 from Norwood International High, Sophia Alashina was the bronze medalist in the South Australian State Championship. So we've got some form in this race.
Absolutely, and right on the hammer of Patricia Boland. Well, in second place, but not right on a hammer, because Boland's got a 9-second lead, is Keely Adabar of St Patrick's Townsville, a very big entry from St Patrick's Townsville. Wonderful girls' school that's been going since about 1907 or something like that. Created by the Sisters of Mercy in Townsville, and actually some of the school's facilities were used during the Second World War to house people who'd been injured. So it's got a steep history as the St Patrick's Townsville School in up there in North Queensland. But at the moment it's Patricia Boland, as Lizzie said, Patty Boland, coached by Thomas Parker, and Lily Gavin. She's well clear for Loretto Normanhurst, in no danger here. She'll go through to tomorrow's semi-final. In second place, St Patrick's Townsville, Keely Adabar, coached by Harrison Parks. Then on the far side of the course, it's Norwood International High from South Australia, Sophia Alashina, Alison Smith, and the evergreen Brenton Terrell. I was lucky enough to run into Brenton upstairs yesterday. He's also coaching the Penrith Cup for South Australia on Sunday.
Good. Yeah.
Brenton, successful sculler himself some years ago, dare I say it, Brenton, last century.
She's looking very good, Sophia Alashina. She's pushing back very hard indeed against Keely Adabar, as she is inside the red buoys, signifying the last 100 metres of the course, but I think she's run out of course. A very good scull indeed from Patty Boland there from Loretto Normanhurst. She also represents Glebe Rowing Club.
Great race for fourth, Lizzie, coming up here. Certainly Sophia Alashina will finish in third place. I reckon it's lane 7, St Mary's College from Tasmania will get up and run fourth.
Yeah, great finish.
Fifth then will be Mersey Rowing Club. Sixth will be the far side Trinity Lutheran. Seventh is Newcastle Grammar's Roxana Brown. 8 minutes 43.36. The margin 5.48 and 4.53. And the next is through the 500 metre mark.
So in our final repechage in the under-17 women's single scull, we have Radford College in lane 1, represented by Lucy Mihaljevic, coached by Oscar Willink and Megan Fritsch. In lane 2 from St Patrick's College Townsville, Iluka Hammond, coached by Harrison Parks. In lane 3 from Mercantile Rowing Club in Victoria, Kate McNeil, coached by Andrew McNeil. In lane 4 from Centenary Rowing Club in Queensland, Greta Knott, coached by Michael Opstelton. In lane 5 from Newcastle Grammar School, Annabelle Mackenzie, coached by Brad Smith. In lane 6 from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise Rowing Club, Dalia Ferraro, coached by Chris Holliday. And in lane 7 from Hunter Valley Grammar School, Erin O'Kane, coached by Chantel Lindsay, Rowan Hislop and Odin McIntosh.
And it's Kate McNeil of Mercantile who was successful on Sunday at the head of the schoolgirls in Geelong and hopped on a plane and came up here to race. And at the moment she's in second place, but Greta Knott, the experienced Greta Knott, even though she's under 17, I think this is probably her third national championships. Certainly yes. I've called her in Queensland Championships for about 3 years. She's coached by Michael Upstelton at Centenary Rowing Club, and she's leading over Kate McNeil in second place from Mercantile Rowing Club. And the rest of the field have got a bit of work to do to get into the mix for one of those two places to be in the semi-finals.
Yeah, Kate McNeil, so quite young, as you said, and she did win the gold medal at the Victorian State Championships in the under-17 single, but it was held over 1,000 metres.
Yeah.
So again, quite different for some of our states once they get to nationals in this under-17 event.
And we'll have to ask Richard how far it was at the head of the schoolgirls, whether it was 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greta Knott.
Yep.
Is she in this?
Yes.
Is that who we were talking about? Yes, so Greta was in that, obviously, as we were talking about yesterday, heat-affected state championships in Queensland, but she was the winner of one of the semi-finals in a time of 8:26 over 2,000 metres, so that's pretty speedy.
Yep. Yes, it is. And the Centenary Rowing Club rowing suit prominent there with a margin of 6.03 seconds through the 1,500 metre mark, and Kate McNeil is holding down second place currently, but she's under a lot of pressure from scullers all around her.
Newcastle Grammar School's Annabelle McKenzie, a name fairly new to me, and again I think we're talking about a less experienced athlete who's really coming good at the end of a great season.
Yep. So Brad Smith coaching her at Newcastle Grammar.
That's right. So Brad, who used to coach at Glebe Rowing Club, coaching the juniors there, is now at Newcastle Grammar School doing a great job, and he's also the team manager for the New South Wales Junior Pathways program. So we have, I think, I don't know if Jason was talking about it yesterday, the Rowing Australia interstate competition that's held at the junior trials, where under-17s, under-18s that are in full-time education at a school can join in a Pathways 8. And I think they're also doing quads to make sure there's a pathway for sculling.
So at the halfway mark, Mackenzie had caught up a bit on McNeil there, but McNeil's opened it back up to a length and a half lead now. So it's Greta Knott by about 2 lengths, 6.26 seconds over Kate McNeil. Then follows Annabelle McKenzie. Lucy Mihalovic is then 13.55 back, then Dahlia Ferraro, Iluka Hammond and Erin O'Keefe. So the first two look as though they're comfortable. In third place clearly is Annabelle McKenzie from Newcastle Grammar, but certainly looks like Greta Knott and Kate McNeil will advance through to tomorrow's semi-finals. Greta Knott in the yellow boat out in the lead. It's actually, I think it's a Ted Hale boat actually.
It could well be, yes.
So well maintained by her coach Michael Abstelton.
Yes, I think we've seen that boat before, haven't we?
Yep.
Much like the Empacker that's at Glebe Rowing Club, that does very good service indeed for Malum. To young people, these people are not successful in their state competitions throughout the season, so they've worked really hard to learn how to race 2,000 metres, well, to learn how to row, to learn how to race, and then to learn how to win, which is different again. And it's great to see what a fine end of season some of these young ladies are having, and great learning experience for the others.
It's a great lesson. I heard from Natalie Cook, Olympic gold medalist, about going to the Olympic Games. The first one she went, she was just happy to get the tracksuit.
Yes.
By the time she went to her 4th or 5th, she was looking for medals and finally won a gold medal in Sydney 24 years ago. But it's Greta Knott of Centenary Rowing Club across first. Kate McNeil of Mercantile will be second. Annabelle McKenzie of Newcastle Grammar will be in third place, and then the battle for fourth, probably headed by Radford College Lucy Mihalovic, but she just had a dirty stroke there. Just pause for a moment and we'll probably get up and run fourth, I would suggest. Over our sculler over here in Station 6, Griffith Uni Surface Paradise, Dahlia Ferraro, coached by Chris Holliday. She'll be in 5th place. 6th then will be St Patrick's Townsville, Iluka Hammond. And 7th will be Hunter Valley Grammar's Erin O'Kane. The winning time, 8 minutes 30.60.
That's our fastest time for the under-17 women today.
7.39 by 6.55. And the next one through the 1,000, Lizzie.
Oh, well, we're moving now to the under-17 men's single sculls. And again, we have repêchages with the first 2 to progress through to the semi-final and the remainder leaving the event. In lane 1, we have Sebastian Willis-Hell from Pembroke School in South Australia, coached by Simon Lane and Sally Martin. In lane 2, Oliver Huerweg from Radford College, coached by Stuart Sampson and Gordon Marks. In lane 3, in Queensland. coached by Jeff Watt and Ian Bridgeland. In lane 5, Alex Lamprey from St Virgil's College in Tasmania, coached by Oliver Wilson Haffenden. In lane 6, Ryan Hendry from Rockhampton Grammar School, coached by Kimberly Brown. And in lane 7, from ANA in Western Australia, Banjo Morris Luck, coached by Graham Scattergood and Alicia Johnston.
So I've had 2 questions answered. The St Mary's School is from South. Apparently all of the Tasmanians in the grandstand yelled out South when I said it. And the head of the schoolgirls was over 1,500 metres. So thank you, Andrew Gearan, for that information, and Ray Smith.
Oh, lovely to know our old friends are listening in.
Well, and in the under-17 men's single scull, the Corio Bay scullers
are
the
Baileys?
identical twins.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah. So there we go.
Zander was the 1,000 metres in Victoria, so maybe I need to be corrected, but a time of 4:21, not sure there. But yes, the gold medalist from Victoria, Zander Bailey from Corio Bay in lane 4.
So he's coached by the evergreen Jeff Watt and Ian Bridgeland, and sculling nicely. In second place is the Southport School sculler George Schmidt, as thank you to John Smythe for letting me know that Stefan Muhlenberg is coaching George Schmidt. I imagine Stefan is coaching all of these Southport School scullers, because that's the year 11 area that he coaches in. And great to see Stefan back in Australia and coaching once more. But the Corio Bay sculler, sitting tall in the seat, got the look back at the rest of the field, headed by the Southport Schools, George Schmidt in second place. No, I've got it wrong there. It's
I know we've got an
it's
outsider here. We have Alex
It's
Lamprey.
St Virgil's Alex Lamprey who's leading from Corio Bay. I knew the colours were wrong. That's what got me. Now that we can see through the sun. So it's lane 5, St Virgil's Alex Lamprey, coached by Oliver Wilson Haffenden. It's one from Zander Bailey of Corio Bay, is in second place. Then back to lane 7, A&A will be in third place. Fourth then will be the Radford College sculler. Fifth will be the Southport School sculler George Schmidt. And then on the far side of the course is the Pembroke School sculler in sixth place. And I seem to have lost one. Rockhampton Grammar's Ryan Hendry.
Yes. So Oliver Horweg was third. Yep.
So 747.57, 747.57, and the margin 5.72 and 13.75. And the next one is also approaching the 1,000 metre mark, Lizzie.
So we'll just quickly recap, though, because that was, I think we did lose Ryan Hendry, didn't we? So just recapping then, in our first repechage of the under-17 men's single scull, it was a win for Alex Lamprey of St Virgil's. Second was Zander Bailey of Corio Bay, and they progressed through to the semi-final. Third was third was Banjo Morris Luck from A&A. I think fourth was George Schmidt from...
Radford College.
Olive Horweg, from Radford College. Then George Schmidt from the Southport School. Then it was Sebastian Willis Hell from Pembroke School. In our second repechage, again first two going through, we have Ryan Catholic College of Queensland in lane 1, represented by Liam Mackay. Radford College of ACT in lane 2, represented by Benjamin Beswick. Mossman Rowing Club in lane 3, represented by Floris Elias. In lane 4, Buckingham Rowing Club, represented by Callum Wigston. In lane 5, Corio Bay, represented by Ty Bailey. In lane 6, Gippsland Grammar of Victoria, represented by Stuart Ray. And in lane 7, Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club, represented by Charlie Arnts.
Unfortunately, the Brisbane Grammar School sculler Ezekiel Hutton has been withdrawn, so lane 8 is vacant. So in the middle of the field there, it would be the sculler in lane 4 that would be leading. That is the Buckingham sculler, Callum Wigston, coached by Hamish Johnson.
The Tasmanian under-17 champion.
Okay, and then on his stroke side, Floris Elias of Mossman is right in the mix, along with Ty Bailey, Corio Bay. So both the Bailey twins looking to get through to the semi-finals, but Ty's got to get up there into second place if he can. and he's trying his darndest to do that. But it's certainly Callum Wixton who's in second place over Floris Elias in second. And then a very close contest between Liam Mackay and Ty Bailey for third place. But Wixton and Elias are clear of the field. Ryan Catholic, Liam Mackay, coached by Erin McGuffey, over on the far side of the course, doing a very good job in the third 500 metres and is moving into contention, but the first two looked as though they've got the race comfortably sewn up. Callum Wixton of Buckingham and Floris Elias of Mossman. He's coached there by Tom Schramko and Kieran Kabelki, from Mossman since Tom and Kieran started coaching there. There's good things happening at the moment.
And again, a junior program that has got boys and girls at a big club. So really important to have that foundation program, isn't it? To bring young kids into the sport, having fun at a club level, and then hopefully doing school as well if they're at a rowing school. If not, you can do what Nepean Rowing Club does, which is they have kids from around the local area and then encourage those schools to register so that the kids can race as their school at the school competitions, which is a lovely thing to do, I think.
Yep, it is.
Broadens our sport, doesn't it? Broadens the base of our sport.
Callum Wixton has got the rate right up there. He's on about 33 or 34 strokes to the minute. He looks like he's in a hurry to get to the finish line so he can wash the boat down and go and have something to eat and get ready for his next race. In second place is the Mossman sculler Floris Elias, and then still holding down third is Ty Bailey of Corio Bay, and in fourth place is the Ryan Catholic College sculler from Townsville. Liam Mackay is coached by Erin McGuffey, and those four have moved well clear of the rest of the field. Benjamin Beswick of Radford College, Gippsland Grammar, Stuart Ray and Wendouree Ballarat, Charlie Arnts. So Mossman will be in second place, third will be Corio Bay, fourth will be Ryan Catholic College of Townsville, fifth will be the Radford College over in Station 2, sixth will be Gippsland Grammar, and seventh will be Wendouree Ballarat. The winning time, 7:48.85. The margins 4.93 and 4.13. And fifth place, Radford College crosses the line. Sixth, Gippsland Grammar, Stuart Ray, with 2 strokes to go, crosses the line. And then Wendouree Ballarat, Charlie Arnts. And the next one is through the 500 metre mark, Lizzie.
Indeed they are. So Repechage 3 in our under-17 men's single scull. In lane 1, Pembroke School of South Australia, represented by Max van der Meulengraaf, coached by Simon Lane and Sally Martin. In lane 2, Gippsland Grammar, represented by Himesh Rajapakse, coached by Alexandra Watson. In lane 3, from Nudgee College, Jacob Brown. In lane 4, from North Esk Rowing Club of Tasmania, Samuel Detmer, coached by Richard Clark and Adam Simons. In lane 5, from the Southport School, Harrison Howard. In lane 6, from North Esk Rowing Club, Jasper Twitchett. In lane 7, from Mersey Rowing Club of Tasmania, Lars Brown, coached by David and Merv Tippett. And in lane 8, from Trinity Lutheran College, which is in Queensland, Kai Lees, coached by Sam Duncan and Eric Rowan.
There's Trinity Lutheran on the Gold Coast, and Eric Rowan, former Tasmanian, coaching there and doing a terrific job. And said yesterday in the commentary, great support from the parent support group there, and from the principal of the school, Sai Wong. At the moment, pace is being set in the middle of the course. Lane 3, Nudgee College, Jacob Brown is very much in the mix, along with lane 4 and 5, North Esk Samuel Detmar, and Southport Schools Harrison Howard. I hesitate to guess that Harrison Howard may well be coached by Stefan Muhlenberg. And then across to Jasper Twitchett of North Esk. This is one of our closer races of the morning, I would suggest. So 5 minutes covered. In on Lars Brown, and he's going hammer and tong there. Just had a look around over his stroke. On his stroke side. And He is going as hard as he possibly can, trying to peg back those that lead him. Headed by Jasper Witchett, North Esk Rowing Club from Launceston. Beside him, the Southport School, obviously from Southport. The boat shed right at the school on the Nerang River. Head of the River champions. They won the Open and First 8, Open Second 8, Year 11 First 8, Year 11 Second 8, and also won the overall trophy point score. So they won the O'Connor Cup for the First 8s and won the Old Boys Cup for the overall champion school of the regatta. First 8 going through undefeated for the year. So across the lane 3, Nudgee College, Jacob Brown. He's right in the mix. He may well be one of the 3 Year 10s who was in the Nudgee College First 8. I'll have to check with their coach Sean Carrollin or Lockie Johnson on that, but there's still 3 in the mix for only 2 spots. The rest will be eliminated. So it's Jacob Brown of Nudgee College, the Southport Schools Harrison Howard, and North Esk Jasper Twitchett. And I reckon that Jasper Twitchett's under a little bit of pressure now as Harrison Howard and Jacob Brown start to get some superiority over the rest of the field. Back in 4th place, Samuel Detmer of North Esk. Certainly Brown of Nudgee and Harrison Howard of the Southport School.
Yeah, and this now last 250 metres is where you start asking questions of yourself and the depth of your training, the preparation that you've had all season. And then, of course, there's the psychology of it and a little twist of luck as well. We're certainly seeing a great performance here from these all 4 scullers who are really contesting strongly these final 2 places, but I think now there is a clear winner. And
Jacob Brown, that's going to be over Harrison Howard of the Southport School.
He'll be very happy with that, exactly. And Harrison Howard now looking a little bit more relaxed. He's upped the rate of striking, but he's certainly got the boat singing along nicely. And although it's a gallant effort there from Jasper Twitchett of North Esk, who we saw do really well in the Tasmanian Championships as well. It's his season, and he'll be through to the semi-final of the under-17 men's single scull.
So it's Nudgee College, Jacob Brown first, the Southport School, Harrison Howard second, North Esk, Jasper Twitchett third, 4th, North Esk, Samuel Detmer, then 5th will be lane 7, Mersey, so the Tasmanians 3rd, 4th and 5th. 6th will be Trinity Lutheran College. 7th will be the Pembroke School sculler on the far side of the course, and 8th will be the Gippsland Grappa sculler Hamish Rajapaksi. The winning time 7:57.03 and the margin 2.16 and 3.13.
Yeah, as you said at the beginning, the closest race that we've had so far in the under-17 men's single scull. So confirming a win there for Jacob Brown of Nudgee College. 2nd, Harrison Howard of the Southport School. Those schoolboys are through to the semi-final of the under-17 men's single scull.
And the next one's down the course as well.
Repechage number 4, yes, in progress with Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club in lane 1, represented by Tristan Veazey, coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson. Hunter Valley Grammar School in lane 2, Harrison Skelly Osmond, coached by Odin McIntosh and Rowan Hislop. In lane 3, Beau Furlong from Buckingham Rowing Club, coached by Hamish Johnston. In lane 4, from Radford College, Charlie Knight, coached by Stuart Sampson and Gordon Marks. In lane 5, from Oxenford Rowing Club, which is in Queensland, Joshua Pickering Pentland, coached by James Harcombe. In lane 6, also from Queensland, Brisbane Boys College, Frederick Brommel, coached by Blaine Heseltine. In lane 7, from Hunter Valley Grammar School, Ed Walsh, coached by Odin McIntosh and Rowan Hislop. And in lane 8, another Queenslander, Rockhampton Grammar School's Oliver Whaling Kane, coached by Kimberly Brown.
And Blaine Heseltine not arriving until tomorrow, so his charges
He's doing a very good job remotely.
Yeah,
good on him.
The rowing coordinator or head coach Zoltan Shepherd here keeping an eye on the charges from Brisbane Boys College. And looks like the Hunter Valley Grammar sculler Edward Walsh is very prominent, but across the lane 3, Buckingham Beau Furlong is also in the mix here in this 4th repechage of the under-17 men's single scull, which is rowed for the Piper Cup, which I think was first awarded here. I think I mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
we need
sure,
to
but I think it
find
was
out, don't we?
5 years ago that it was first awarded.
Right.
It is Beau Furlong who leads across in lane 3. Buckingham Rowing Club from Hobart in Tasmania, coached by Hamish Johnston. In second place is Edward Walsh of Hunter Valley Grammar, Odin McIntosh and Rowan Hislop. Then follows Harrison Skelly Osmond, Frederick Brommel, Charlie Knight, Joshua Pickering Pentland, Tristan Vesey. But the first two have cleared out over the rest of the field and look comfortably into tomorrow's semi-finals.
In this event, so he's our leader, is that right?
Yes, he is over there, yeah. And of course on Saturday was the Tasmanian Head of the River.
Oh,
there were
right.
Heads of the River on Saturday in South Australia, New South Wales and Tasmania.
Yes.
So it was a busy weekend for volunteer boat race officials, that's for sure, as the Head of the Schoolgirls was also raced in Victoria on the same weekend. And sadly, the Victorian Head of the River is next Saturday and clashes with the Australian Rowing Championship.
Oh, that's such a shame. So that's why we are missing a whole cohort of people that would otherwise be racing.
We still have 16 schoolboy eights, but none from Victoria, unfortunately. But it is Buckingham from Tasmania, from Hobart. Beau Furlong, coached by Hamish Johnson, is going to win repechage number 4 over the sculler from Hunter Valley Grammar. Edward Walsh, coached by Aidan McIntosh and Rowan Hislop. They're the two that will go through to the semi-finals from repechage 4. Then on the far side of the course, another Hunter Valley Grammar sculler, Harrison Skelly Osmond, will finish in 3rd place. 4th then will be the Brisbane Boys College sculler, Frederick Brommel. He'll be part of next year's first 8 group at the moment. Then follows in 5th place Radford College Charlie Knight. Then in 6th will be the Oxenford sculler Joshua Pickering Pentland. 7th will be Rockhampton Fitzroy's Tristan Vesey, and 8th will be Rockhampton Grammar School's Oliver Whaling Kane, coached by Kimberly Brown. The winning time for Furlong is 7:47.75. The margin 7.09 by 7.50. And Lizzie, repechage 5 is through the 500 metre mark.
And this is our final repechage of the under-17 men's single scull. And again, just the first 2 progressing through to the semi-final to join Beau Furlong and Ed Walsh, who've just made it through from the previous repechage. In repechage 5, in lane 1, Commercial Rowing Club's Aidan Jeremijenko, coached by David Van Das. In lane 2, from Radford College, Lincoln Uren, coached by Stuart Stampson and Gordon Marks. In lane 3, from the Leichhardt Rowing Club's junior programme, Petar Simkovic, coached by Isaac Shepherd and Dua Kalantar. In lane 4, from Pembroke School in South Australia, Jeremy Yu, coached by Simon Lane and Sally Martin. In lane 5, from Nudgee College, Oliver McCune. In lane 6, from Brisbane Grammar School, Oliver Kent, coached by Philip Morgan and Amelia Connolly. And in lane 7, from ANA in Western Australia, Thomas Coles, coached by Graham Scattergood and Alicia Johnston. And of course, a big difference to last year. It's a long way for the guys to travel from Western Australia, so we only have a smattering of school-age rowers competing.
Yep.
So far this week. Hopefully there will be more joining us. Oliver McEwen from Nudgee College, who we see there in lane 5, was the bronze medalist at the Queensland State Championships. And Oliver Kent was the silver medalist. He's beside him in lane 6.
So Oliver Kent rowing for Brisbane Grammar School. I saw his dad in the car park, and Tim Kent, who rode, I'm pretty sure he rode under 19s for Australia, rode for the Southport School.
Right. And I'm pretty sure we have another I think Jeremy Yu was a medalist in yes, he was the he's the state champion for South Australia, Jeremy Yu, in the under-17s. So again, we're seeing people with quite a bit of form coming through to race here at the Nationals.
And it is Oliver Kent who's leading for Brisbane Grammar School, coached by Phil Morgan and Amelia Connolly. He's got the best part of 3/4 of a length lead over lane 4, Jeremy Yu of the Pembroke School, and they're 2.5 lengths clear of Oliver McEwen. So Oliver Kent and Jeremy Yu looking very comfortable indeed for a place through to tomorrow's semi-finals. So So those two scullers in 5 and 4. Lizzie is one on one side of his lane and the other on the far side of the lane, although I think the sculler from Nudgee College is starting to straighten it up a bit now, and they're a bit closer together. If one's on the extremities and the other one's on the opposite extremities, it looks like there's a vacant lane almost, but no, we've got a full field of 7.
We have. So, yep, Jeremy Yu, who we mentioned is the under-17 state champion in South Australia, really now pushing hard against Oliver McEwen of Nudgee and really consolidating his position in second place. But as they come into the last 100 metres of the race, looks to me as though he's raising his rate of striking, pushing back pretty hard, and he's going to really take the race to Oliver Kent of Brisbane Grammar School. Yeah,
Kent on this side of the course, nearest the grandstand, is hanging on to that lead, but Jeremy Yu, as Lizzie said, is trying to peg him back and maybe get across the line first to get a better lane in the semi-finals tomorrow. But Oliver Kent's got the look back at him. He's in station 7. And Jeremy Yu in station 4. Then in third place is Nudgee's Oliver McEwen. And I think Oliver Kent has responded to the challenge, and it will be Brisbane Grammar School's Oliver Kent that will get across in first place. Pembroke School from South Australia will be in second. There's a number of Pembroke entries here as well. So
yes, it's great.
Terrific
great
South
school.
Australian entries this year. Nudgee College will finish in third place. That's Oliver McEwen.
Great race. Yeah, good race there for Peter Simkovic.
Leichhardt. Peter Simkovic will finish in fourth place. Fifth will be lane 7, ANA, and it's great to see ANA back at the Australian Rowing Championships.
It sure is.
Made a comeback last year on home waters in Champion Lakes. Radford College will finish in 6th place, and Commercial will be 7th. The winning time 7:54.79, margin 1.96 by 7.81.
That's our closest margin in that under-17 men's singles. So we wish Jeremy Yu lots of luck. I think he needs to go a little bit earlier tomorrow, be a bit more confident. A great race.
And under-19 women's single scull repechage 1 is on the course now.
Here we go. So under-17s tick and on to under-19s. Yesterday we saw some fantastic racing in the under-19 women's single scull with only one person through, I think it was. So again, cutthroat racing. And today's repechage sees 2 more people go through, and everybody else has had to put their boat back on the trailer. In lane 1 of our first repechage, we have Zoe Hickey from Radford College in the ACT, who is coached by Maximilian Mayer and Megan Fritsch. In lane 2, Jemima McKenzie from Newcastle Grammar School. Oh, I do wonder if she's the sister of was it Annabelle, who we saw earlier?
Yep.
In lane 3, Juliet Kelly from Fremantle Rowing Club, coached by Alex Thompson. In lane 4, Alana Edwards from the Friends School of Tasmania, coached by Anthony Edwards and Nicola Anderson. In lane 5, Ho Thi Du from Team Vietnam, coached by Joe Donnelly. In lane 6, Elodie Lee from Brisbane and GPS Rowing Club, coached by Maddie Pakila and Nigel Stubbs. In lane 7, it's Lily Barker from Mersey Rowing Club, coached by Davey Tippett. And completing our field of 8, Callie McRae from Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club, coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson.
And Lily Barker's quite prominent in station 7. And then across to the Friends sculler, Alana Edwards, as I said yesterday, coached by her dad, Anthony Edwards.
I was going to ask that question, right,
yep,
yes.
Yeah, Anthony's daughter, 4-time Olympian in the lightweight 4, Anthony Edwards.
And fantastic coach, and some of that technical stuff that he did with Decent Rowing and with Rowing Tasmania, absolutely fantastic videos and advice. So a wonderful technician.
Decent Rowing stuff is fantastic.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, hats off to those guys. But Alana couldn't, I'm sure she wouldn't want to ask for her dad to coach her, but she couldn't ask for a better coach, could she?
No, that's true. So it's Alana Edwards. Ho Thi Dai is right there in the mix as well. I thought she had a beautiful boat run yesterday, the Team Vietnam sculler. She may well be in second place. And Fremantle's Juliet Kelly, and then across to Mersey's Lily Barker. This is one of the closer ones, Lizzie, but it is Alana Edwards who leads through the 1,500 metre mark. 2.67 over Ho Thi Dai in second place. Juliet Kelly, 3.33 back in third, then follows Lily Barker in fourth, and that's where the first 2 will come from. The rest have got too much to make up and not enough water left to do it. Jemima Mackenzie is in 5th place. Elodie Lee is in 6th. Zoe Hickey is in 7th. And Callie McRae is in 8th. So it's 2 races within in the one race. The first 4 clear, and then the second 4 having their own race. But Alana Edwards of the Friends School from Hobart, coached by Anthony Edwards and Nicola Anderson, holding sway here. 2.5 lengths clear of the rest of the field. Ho Thi Dai of Team Vietnam and Juliet Kelly of Fremantle fighting out second place with Team Vietnam in second at the moment, and under a bit of pressure from Juliet Kelly of Fremantle, but under no pressure is Alana Edwards of the Friends School. She's into the last 200 metres now. Going there. Yeah, the floating pontoon about 200 metres. Did you not know that was there?
No, what's that there for?
I don't know. Owen Nix will know. He knows everything in New South
He
Wales.
knows everything, that's right.
So it's the Friends School, Alana Edwards over Ho Thi Dai of Team Vietnam. She'll go through to the semi-finals. Juliet Kelly of Fremantle is still holding down 3rd place. And in 4th place is the Mersey sculler, Lily Barker. She's coached by David Tippett. So where's Merv? Why isn't he coaching her as well? But a nice win coming up.
Yeah, beautiful.
The Friends School, it's got nice length at the catch. And Alana Edwards first, Team Vietnam, Ho Thi Dai is second. 3rd is Fremantle, Juliet Kelly. 4th is Mersey, Lily Barker. And then 5th will be Newcastle Grammar.
It will.
6th will be Brisbane and GPS.
I think so. Good race going on there for the final positions.
Yep.
Good to see people racing it right out to the finish. Oh yeah, here's lane 8 coming now.
Brisbane and GPS will be 6th. 7th will be Radford College, Zoe Hickey. And 8th will be Rockhampton Fitzroy, Callie McRae. The winning time 8 minutes 15.02. The margin 3.09 and 5.62. And Lizzie, they're almost at the 1,000 metre mark in Repechage 2.
Where we have Tasmania University in lane 1, represented by Olivia Walter, coached by Sean Finlayson. Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise in lane 2, represented by Eva Pinkerton and coached by Anthony Cook. Manning Valley Anglican in lane 3, represented by Zoe Hutchison and coached by Murray Doust. In lane 4, Unley High from South Australia, Felicity Cox, coached by Daniel Ralph. In lane 5, Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, Courtney Davis, coached by both Anthony Cook and Chris Holliday. In lane 6, Rockhampton Grammar School, Asher Stewart, coached by Rob Fay. In lane 7, West Australian Rowing Club's Alessia Chirocco, coached by Stefano Belosso. And in lane 8, from the University of Queensland Boat Club, Isabel Scheimer, coached by Phil Bourguignon and Lily Lunny. Good to see Lily, the Cox, coming into the coach's seat.
Yes, she's been off-siding for Phil all season, and
it's a good coaching team.
Yeah, I think she's coxing the Queen's Cup 8.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah,
good for her.
So it's a good race here, and our replacements are here ready to go, Lizzie. They're hovering to move in for the next race. Richard in particular is keen to get in and do the commentary on the next race. But in this one, Repechage 2, the Tasmanian University sculler Olivia Walter, coached by Sean Finlayson, is putting on one of the better performances out of lane 1. But it is the sculler from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, Courtney Davis, who I'd suggest is leading, coached by Anthony Cook and Chris Holliday. Chris, the head coach at Griffith University Surfers Paradise, was the rowing coordinator at St Joseph's College, Gregory Terrace, for a while, and then successfully applied for the head coach's job at Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, and got a very strong group emerging at Griffith Uni, being supported, of course, by the likes of Duncan Free and Marcus Free. So
what have they ever done?
Yeah, a couple of blokes who know a bit about rowing.
I can imagine there's a bit of banter along there as well.
Oh, yes, I copped it from Marcus when I arrived the other day.
I think we all cop it from Marcus. Hello, Marcus.
Yes.
Going to be good to see you. Welcome back to Cirque.
and I'm getting messages through from his mum, Helen.
Hello, Helen.
Who watches the live streaming very diligently, and well, in particular when her grandchildren are out there racing. But at the moment it is a Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise sculler that's leading, but it's not one of Helen's relatives. Unley High Felicity Cox, coached by Daniel Ralph, who runs the program at Unley High, and his dad Brett Ralph is our technical delegate here for the regatta.
He is indeed.
So South Australian prominent there, and Brett Ralph took over from another South Australian, Michael Eastoff, who used to be the technical delegate. But at the moment, the Unley High sculler is making a bold bid for victory here for Felicity Cox. She's just about drawn level with Courtney Davis of Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise. Then a good race for third between Rockhampton Grammar Asher Stewart across to Zoe Hutchinson of Manning Valley Anglican School, and Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise Eva Pinkerton is back off the pace. It's Tasmanian University Olivia Walter, who's the sculler in about 4th or 5th place. But a well-timed run here from Felicity Cox of Unley High has got her bow in front and going right on with the job here. She's looking to open up the margin if she can. You've got a lead of more than a length. You look safe to me to go through to the semi-finals. She's nice and long at the finish. Unley High over Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise in second place. They're the two scullers that will go through. Then in third place will be the Manning Valley Anglican sculler Zoe Hutchinson. Fourth will be Rockhampton Grammar's Asher Stewart. Fifth will be the Farside Tasmanian University. Sixth will be Western Australian Rowing Club Alessia Karoko. Next will be Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, and in 8th place will be the University of Queensland Isabel Shima as Richard Dorstein jumps into my seat.
And as our final scullers cross the line, confirming the results of the second repechage of the Under-19 Women's Single Scull, where only 2 progress through to the semi-final. Those progressing will be Felicity Cox from Unley High and Courtney Davis from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise. Winning time 8 minutes 19.69, the margin 5.78, which compares with 8.15 in the first repechage set by Alana Edwards. Third, Zoe Hutchison Manning Valley Anglican. Fourth, Asher Stewart Rockhampton Grammar. Fifth, Olivia Walter Tasmania University. Sixth, Alessia Scirocco from WARC. Seventh, Eva Pinkerton from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise. And eighth, Isabel Scheimer from the University of Queensland Boat Club. Moving on then to our third repechage in the Under-19 Women's Single Scull, and we've got 5 in total. In lane 1, representing Gippsland Grammar, Ella Gerrand, coached by Nick Bartlett and Alexandra Watson. In lane 2, Rutherglen Lake Rowing Club from Victoria, Lily Rose Hall-Kraus, coached by Paul Somerville. In lane 3, from Bundaberg Rowing Club, Georgia Mortimer, coached by Dane Mortimer. In lane 4, Adelaide University's Victoria Binns, coached by Tom Tolinar. In lane 5, Zara Turner from Radford College, coached by Max Mayer and Megan Fritsch. In lane 6, from Trinity Lutheran College in Queensland, Isabel Clifford, coached by Eric Rowan. In lane 7, Jada Critchlow from Bundaberg Rowing Club, coached by Rodney Dick. And in lane 8, Zoe Wright from Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club, coached by Paul Blanchfield.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Ray, for the opening hour of racing here. Of the Under-19 Women's Single Scull. Just 2 to go through, so some pretty cutthroat racing here. And it's a pretty clear lead there to the sculler on lane 5 from Radford College in the Australian Capital Territory, Zara Turner, who leads this race very comfortably now through 1,500 metres by 8.2 seconds, in fact, ahead of Victoria Binns from Adelaide University. On the far side there in the, I think it'll be the dark green boat of Gippsland Grammar School, is Ella Gerrand, who currently sits in 3rd place, but 3.6 seconds outside a qualifying spot. I have seen her race a fair bit recently, Ella Gerrand, and she does have a pretty strong finish in the single scull, so may yet be able to move up towards the top 2. Isabel Clifford in 4th, Georgia Mortimer 5th, Lily Rose Hall-Kraus was next as the field continue on into the final 300 metres now of this race, but it is being led comfortably by the sculler from the ACT. And speaking of the ACT, welcome back, Stuart John.
Thanks, Richard. It's fantastic conditions out there at the moment, so it is heating up. The clouds aren't quite as heavy as what they were yesterday. I think they were very much pregnant with possibility throughout most of yesterday and supposed to be again tomorrow. So it's very much a slip, slap day if you are heading out and racing today. Also make sure that you're nice and hydrated as well, because it's going to get quite warm, just around 30 or so degrees later on.
Yep, indeed. The forecast is, certainly good conditions for racing, but certainly rather hot out there. But this stage fairly nice in the early morning, just after 9 o'clock here. We're still watching the sculler from Bradford College here, leading it Zara Turner from Victoria Binns of Adelaide Uni. Ella Durand on lane 1 from Gippsland Grammar School was a member of their quad scull that won the head of the schoolgirls late on Sunday afternoon. A 14-year wait for a win for Gippsland Grammar in that event was broken late on Sunday with a very good quad, but in the single here she looks like she'll have to be content with third place in this race. The top 2 only will go through to the semi-final, and it is the 2 scullers in the centre lanes who will take those at 2 spots. So Zara Turner of Radford College clear still by several lengths. She had about 8 seconds with 500 to go, and it's a similar margin now as she comes across the line. So it is Zara Turner from Radford College across to qualify for the semis, and Victoria Binns, coached by Tom Tolliner in Adelaide Uni, will do enough to hold on for second, about a length and a half clear of Ella Durand from Gippsland Grammar School, who will finish in third place. Fourth looks like it will be the lane 6 sculler Isabel Clifford from Trinity. Then it will be Rutherglen Lake, in fact it'll be Bundaberg's Georgia Mortar, I should say, in 5th place. Lily Rose Hallcrouse for Rutherglen Lake will finish 6th. 7th and 8th on this side, Zoe Wright and Jada Critchlow.
So confirmation of the results from third repechage of the under-19 women's single scull. First place, Zara Turner from Radford College. Second, Victoria Binns from Adelaide University, with those 2 scullers going through to the semi-final. Winning time of 8 minutes 11.15 and a margin of just over 10 seconds between first and second, and 3 seconds back to third. As we move on to the next race, it's a 4th repechage. Again, the under-19 women's single sculls, first and second through to the final. So we Layla Struthers from Rockhampton Fitzroy and Freya Bateman from UTS not racing in this particular one. Lane 2 from Yarra Yarra Rowing Club down in Victoria, we have Constantina Kafesis, coached by David Olchett. In lane 3 from Buckingham Rowing Club, Poppy Kennett, coached by Abby Crow. In lane 4 from Newcastle Grammar, Alice McReady. In lane 6 from Nepean Rowing Club, Olivia Harris, coached by Daniel Waddell. Lane 7 from Corio Bay Rowing Club, Beatrix Hearn, coached by Jeff Watt. And lane 8 from Hunter Valley Grammar, Amelia Dennis. And she's coached by Rowan Hislop and Odin McIntosh. And we can see there the view of the Nepean and Corio Bay scullers. So coming up to the 1,250 metres. Alice McReady from Newcastle Grammar leading Beatrix Hearn by half a second, and then only a second and a half back to Poppy Kennett in third place, and Olivia Harris not entirely out of the qualification positions as well in 4th. Constantina Kafesis in 5th, and Amelia Dennis in 6th. So the view from the BR rowboat, if you ever wanted to know what it's like following the boats down the course, then this is that lovely view that we've got from the cameras on board the BR rowboat. So that's Olivia Harris closest to you on the screen in the blue and black suitie of Nepean with the very distinctive blue oars. And then over on the far side there with the purple and the yellow, that's Corio Bay Rowing Club's Beatrix Hearn. So Beatrix was sitting in 2nd place. And I think it's going to be interesting to see who's going to get through in this one. Certainly Alice McReady from Newcastle Grammar looking comfortable out in front. Poppy Kennett from Buckingham in 2nd. And I think, Richard, we're just about to see exactly how far away those 3rd and 4th place scullers are from going through to the semi-finals.
About to come through 1,500 here, Stuart. Exactly. That's the distinctive red boat of Yarra Yarra there. I think Constantina Kafesis is sitting behind our race leader, but it's Alice McReady of Newcastle Grammar School. Notice the red boat there of Poppy Kennett from Buckingham, of course, the red boat of the Tasmanian. So they are now clearly our top 2 over in lanes 4 and 3. It would be Alice McReady leading it from Poppy Kennett by 1.93 seconds. Olivia Harris up into 3rd place. The Nepean sculler, who we saw on screen earlier from that great shot from the umpire's boat. And Beatrix Hearn of Corio Bay now back to 4th place. She's another sculler who raced with distinction at the head of the schoolgirls on a home course on the Barwon River, just as recently as Sunday afternoon. Picked up a bronze medal in the Open Division 1 single scull there, did Beatrix Hearn, but possibly the 5 days starting to tell late in this one, and she's got some work to do to stay up on terms with the top at this stage. But with 2:50 to go, the two scullers, it looks like, towards the southern side of the course, Stuart, I think will be our qualifiers here.
Yeah, and you can see them up on the screen there. So Alice McReady from Newcastle Grammar on the right-hand side, and then Poppy Kennett from Buckingham Rowing Club on the left-hand side. Our two leaders, and again, great views out towards the Blue Mountains. You can see the finish sign out towards, basically directly back from in behind Poppy Kennett. And again, some fantastic views. Not quite glassy water out there, but certainly there's not a lot of wind. Just looking at the flags, they are fluttering a little bit, maybe a little bit of a tail breeze coming through. So certainly making it a little bit easier to get down the course if you do have that experience to use it. And I think we're just seeing here, Poppy Kennett from Buckingham Rowing Club has just started to move through Alice McReady from Newcastle Grammar. So putting herself in that best position to try and get the best lane possible for the semi-finals. And now there is some interesting weather that's forecast for tomorrow.
It's a very polite way of putting it.
A bit of rain forecast, potential storms. So you want to try and get yourself in as good a place as possible. But it will be Poppy Kennett from Buckingham Rowing Club, half a boat length over Alice McReady from Newcastle Grammar. Both those scullers going through to the semi-finals in the under-19 women's single scull. Finishing in third place will be Olivia Harris from Nepean Rowing Club. Fourth will be Beatrix Hearn from Corio Bay Rowing Club. Coming through in fifth will be Constantina Kafisas from Yarra Yarra, with Hunter Valley Grammar's Amelia Dennis finishing in sixth place. The winning time for Poppy Kennett was 8 minutes 22.94 in a gap of just under a second back to second, and then just under 9 seconds back to third. And that compares in the previous repechage of 8 minutes and 11 for Zara Turner from Radford College, but she was also about 10 seconds ahead. So certainly positive there for Zara Turner from Radford. But Poppy Kennett, Alex McReady through to the semi-finals.
Go to race 105, the fifth and final repechage of the under-19 women's singles scull. Now, as our final sculler just comes across to conclude race 104 as well. But back down the course, we have a field of 7 in repechage 5 of the under-19 women's single. Pia Hatza-Petru from University of Queensland, lane 1. Georgia Brennan, Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club in lane 2. Poppy O'Mahony from Pembroke School in 3. Sina Metzger of Fremantle in lane 4. Ruby Hodges from Griffith University Surfers Paradise in lane 5. Fremantle's Emma O'Neill in lane 6, and Rockhampton Grammar School Carolyn Sparks in lane 7. So 3 Queenslanders here, Stuart, on either side of the course.
Yeah, but it's the WA sculler, Sina Metzger, leading through the 1,000 metres. She's got a 3-second lead over Carolyn Sparks from Rockhampton Grammar. And then Emma O'Neill just a second behind her in third place, just out of those qualification positions. Poppy O'Mahony in 4th place, and then Pia Hatza-Petru from the University of Queensland in 5th, Georgia Brennan in 6th, and Ruby Hodges in 7th place. As we see there, the Fremantle sculler, Sina Metzger, she's coached by Alec Thompson, and certainly looking very comfortable there over in lane number 4. Back a little bit further, you can see there the Pembroke School's Poppy O'Mahony, and then over on the far side in lane number 1, Pia Hatza-Petru from the University of Queensland. So it's certainly looking like Sina Metzger, with about a bit over 500 metres to go, looking very comfortable out in front as they're coming up now towards the 1,500 metre mark. That battle for second place, though, I think is going to be quite interesting. We've got Emma O'Neill from Fremantle Rowing Club, looking like she may just have put a little bit of a burst on. Poppy O'Mahony from Pembroke School and Georgia Brennan from Rockhampton Fitzroy also going quite nicely as well. And I think Carolyn Sparks from Rockhampton Grammar was sitting in second place, but may just have dropped off the pace a little bit. Emma O'Neill from Fremantle, so it's a Freo 1 and 2 as things stand in Rep 5 of the women's under-19 single sculls. Poppy O'Mahony in third place, she's 4 seconds back from Emma O'Neill, and then Carolyn Sparks sitting in 4th place. Pia Hatza-Petru from the University of Queensland in 5th, Georgia Brennan in 6th place, and then back to Ruby Hodges from Griffith University Surfers Paradise at the back of the field. So Fremantle 1 and 2. Can they hold on through the last 500 metres?
Yeah, quite a change in complexion of the race there in that third 500, because certainly Carolyn Sparks of Rockhampton Grammar seem to be in second place at the halfway mark, now back into fourth and outside the qualifying spots. And it is indeed looking like a potential Fremantle Quinella here at this stage as they head into the closing strokes now of the race. Our camera boat there alongside lane 5, Ruby Hodges from Griffith University Surfers Paradise there in the red colours, just to be rowing slightly downhill with that angle of the camera as they race towards the finish line. Our leaders might have gone through the 1,750 metre mark, and it clearly is Fremantle. Sina Metzger there, the Alex Thompson coach sculler from the Fremantle Rowing Club, and it does look increasingly likely they will take out the top 2 spots as we see still coming home pretty quickly. The sculler on the other side of our race leader, Poppy O'Mahony from the Pembroke School of South Australia, coached by Matthew Nielsen and Sally Martin.
So about 200 metres left to go for our leading crews, and it is still Sina Metzger. She's led from the start. Now the battle for second place is on. Emma O'Neill from Fremantle Rowing Club moved up into second place through the 1500. She is being pushed by Poppy O'Mahony from Pembroke School in South Australia. Emma O'Neill now just looking out to her right, sees the danger, pushes through a little bit, and is now about boat length up over Poppy O'Mahony. It will be a win for Sina Metzger from Fremantle Rowing Club, and it will be the Fremantle Quinella with Emma O'Neill taking second place, going through to the semi-finals. A great row from Poppy O'Mahony from Pembroke School. She'll finish in third place. And then the battle for the minor placings, we do have Carolyn Sparks from Rockhampton. And then in fifth place will be the Brennan ahead of University of Queensland's Pia Hatzapetru, and then Griffith University Surfers Paradise, Ruby Hodges in seventh place. So a winning time there for Sina Metzger of 8 minutes 16.04, and she finished just under 5 seconds ahead of Emma O'Neill with another 4 seconds back to Poppy O'Mahony.
So there's the two West Australians who go there from race 105. Sina Metzger and Emma O'Neill qualify first and second. From the fifth and final repechage of the under-19 women's single, we go now to the, I think, 5 repechages also in the under-19 men's single scull. 6, in fact, required a slightly bigger field in this event, and the first of those 6 well underway. It is Caden Hatchett of Oxenford of Queensland Oxford Rowing Club in lane 2. The West Australian Rowing Club Sam Clode in lane 3. Alexander Williams, Adelaide University, lane 4. Cooper Hoskin of Adelaide Rowing Club in 5. Lewin Harridge from Melbourne Uni in 6. Benjamin Meakin from Ballarat Grammar in 7. And Campbell Milne from the Canberra Rowing Club in lane 8. And the sculler from Adelaide, they're up on screen, just getting a bit close to the boys there too. That's Cooper Hoskin, who's coached by Christine McLaren, just having to adjust his steering a couple of times. We can see in that shot from behind, and it's a bit of ground to make up, it seems, on the field at this stage as they head up towards the 1,500 metre mark. It was Alexander Williams leading it at the halfway mark. That's the sculler from Adelaide University in lane 5, so 2 South Australians in the centre lanes. We just saw a West Australian Quinella, and it may well be the South Australians this time around, with Alexander Williams leading it from Cooper Hoskin.
Yeah, so Ballarat Grammar's Benjamin Meakin in third place, Sam Clode in fourth, Caden Hatchett in fifth, Lewin Harridge in sixth, and Campbell Milne in seventh. So that was through the first 1,000. We're coming up now to the 1,500. With this large number of repechages here, Richard, does that mean we're going to have 3 semi-finals?
I hope not, Stuart, but I haven't yet looked ahead to tomorrow's program, but it is, regardless, it is, despite my Latin issues, it is great to see a huge field here in the under-19 men's and women's singles scull. Indeed, in this entire regatta, I believe it's a record number of entries for a national championships here at Penrith this week. So if we have to put up with 3 semi-finals to do that, I'll quietly, no, not quietly, I'll live with it loudly anyway.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Adelaide University, Alexander Williams still in front, 7 seconds ahead of Cooper Hoskin. So, and then another 5 seconds back to Benjamin Meakin in third place. So our South Australian Quinella looking very good here in the first repechage of the men's under-19 single sculls. Benjamin Meakin from Ballarat Grammar in third. Sam Clode from the West Australian Rowing Club in fourth. Lewin Harridge from Melbourne University in fifth. Caden Hatchett in sixth. And then Campbell Milne from Canberra Rowing Club in seventh place. So certainly our two middle lanes, 2 lanes out in front, and then back a little bit further to the chasing pack. So they've got just over 200 or so metres left to go there. But certainly a fantastic row here from Alexander Williams. He's led from the start, and now you can just see him just some level of momentum. Big push coming here from making sure that he's got a nice enough gap so that he can take it a little bit easier coming into the last stages. We saw last year in Perth, there was, I think, 6 seconds made up over the last 500 metres to make it through in a repechage.
Right.
Yeah, so we're seeing here now Alexander Williams from Adelaide University. He goes through the red boys, as is Cooper Hoskin from Adelaide Rowing Club. So with a couple of big strokes now left to go, he's just dropped that rate right down, and it is going to be a repechage win for Alexander Williams from Adelaide University. Second place goes to Cooper Hoskin from Adelaide Rowing Club. So it's South Australian 1 and 2. They're through to the semi-finals, and they'll be battling it out for a place in the AMB finals in coming days. Third place will go to Benjamin Meakin from Ballarat Grammar. So he was about 14 seconds behind in third. Fourth place will go to Sam Clode from the West Australian Rowing Club, with fifth going to Lewin Harridge from Melbourne University, sixth to Caden Hatchett from Oxenford Rowing Club, and then Campbell Milne from Canberra Rowing Club at the back of the field, just coming up towards the finish line now. So the winning time for Alexander Williams from Adelaide University was 7 minutes 24.65. He'll be joined in the semi-finals by Cooper Hoskin from Adelaide Rowing Club, who was exactly 6 seconds behind in second, with a gap of 13.73 seconds back to Benjamin Meakin in third. As we move on to the second repechage of the men's under-19 single sculls, in lane number 2 from the Fremantle Rowing Club, we have Kit Mueller, coached by Kevin Neville. In lane 3 from Swan River Rowing Club, William Joseph Maharich, and he's coached by David Maharich and Neville Kempton. Lane 4 from Tasmania University, Oliver Shearing, coached by Sean Finlayson. Lane 5 from Adelaide High, Finn Redmond, coached by Joanne Malcolm. Lane 6 from Adelaide Rowing Club, Igor Zarubin, coached by Ron Mobbs and Darren Potts. Lane 7 from Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club, Finn Parr, coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson. And lane 8 from the Southport School, John Annetto. So again, a lovely geographic spread. WA, all states represented.
Yes, won't keep the locals happy, but certainly the extremities of the country in every sense in this particular repechage of the under-19 men's single scull. And it was the Tasmanian leading it to Oliver Shearing, who's coached by Sean Finlayson at the Tasmania University Boat Club, who led it by 4.35 seconds at the halfway mark over Finn Redmond from Adelaide High. The South Australian there in second place, and the other South Australian, Igor Zarubin of Adelaide Rowing Club, was in third place. So Tasmania University, Adelaide High and Adelaide, the three scullers there in the centre of the course. We're about to get a better look at them now as they come through the 1,500 metre mark, past the boat trailer parking area, which is going through about a 2-length lead. It will still be that sculler from Tasmania, Oliver Shearing, who leads it from Finn Redmond. The gap's closed a little, just under 3 seconds now, but they have really, with still about leads the rest of the pack home ahead of Kit Southport. Scullers through that timing point, but a clear lead to Oliver Shearing, certainly, of the Tasmania University Boat Club, not rowing in the distinctive red boat for a change, just to confuse us once more.
Yeah, it's been a strong row from Oliver Shearing from Tasmania University. We saw as they went through that 1500 a really good view. Finn Redmond now, he's just slowed down a little bit now, but certainly had plenty of momentum and plenty of drive as he went through that 1500 metre timing point. So he's sitting very comfortably out in second place at the moment. You can see there the view. So Oliver Shearing from Tasmania University out in front, Finn Redmond from Adelaide High sitting in second place, and then that bit of a gap to our remaining scullers. So
Finn Redmond really going with the job here too. I think not content with sitting in second place. He is really pushing the race leader here, Oliver Shearing, all the way down to the finish, but they're both going to go through regardless. So some interesting tactics at play here in the final 100 metres or so.
I reckon Joe Malcolm might have a bit to do with that.
It comes from the coach, yes. It would not surprise me at all.
So Oliver Shearing from Tasmania University, he's led from the start. He's still got a boat length lead, and you can just see there, just putting a little bit of pressure on, upping the rate of striking a little bit. Not a full sprint finish for either him or Finn Redmond from Adelaide High, but certainly our two qualifiers for the semi-finals looking very comfortable indeed. So Tasmania University, Oliver Shearing with the win in the repechage. Finn Redmond from Adelaide High going through in second place. So they're our two semi-final qualifiers. Coming through in third place from Adelaide Rowing Club, it will be Igor Zarubin. And as he just comes across the line now, and he'll be followed by Swan River's William Joseph Maharid. Oh no, sorry, it will be Fremantle Kip Mueller in fourth. Fifth place will be John Anetto from the Southport School. Kip Mueller we'll have to double check on that. I think there's some issues there with
Swan
the
River's
timing.
Sixth there, William Joseph Maharid in sixth place, and seventh about to come across here from Rockhampton. Fitzroy still, yes, in the blue colours, the seventh sculler Finn Parr. So you're seeing on screen not entirely a goal. Kip Mueller's been placed twice, so that'll correct itself. But certainly the top two going through to the semis. Oliver Shearing from Tasmania University and Finn Redmond of Adelaide High. Quite a gap back down to the rest of the field, headed by Igor Zarubin of Adelaide Rowing Club. Time just over 7:25, I believe, in that race, and 2.21 seconds between our top two.
Moving on to the third repechage of the under-19 single sculls. In lane 1 from Sydney. Lane 2 from North Esk, Jack Clark, coached by Richard Clark and Adam Simons. In lane 3 from Hunter Valley Grammar, Luke Purdy, coached by Odin McIntosh and Rowan Hislop. Lane 4 from Radford College in the ACT, Angus Scott, coached by Will Hatcher, Mackenzie Moore and Gordon Marks. Lane 5 from Tamar Rowing Club, Ned Neville Clark, coached by Richard Clark and Adam Simons. In lane 6 from Fremantle Rowing Club, Liam Davis, coached by Kevin Neville. Lane 7 from Barwon Rowing Club, Elliot Renson Gibb, coached by Michael Cushion. And lane 8 from Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club, Jai Ol, and he's coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson. As we just see our leading scullers going through the 1,000 metres, and Luke Purdy leading by just under a second from Liam Davis, and then Ned Neville Clark sitting only a couple of seconds behind in third, and then Angus Scott just over a second. That qualification, and we do see in this third 500 metres quite regularly the lead changes. You know, we've got some that some people go out hard and then they're unable to hold on to it, and some people conserve the energy and just keep going.
Indeed, and Ned Neville Clark of Tamar, they look to have made up a spot in the second 500 too, so he's moving with some speed there in the centre of the course. He was fourth after 500 metres, now up into third spot at the halfway mark of the race. The sculler there in lane 5, but certainly still does look to be the Hunter Valley Grammar sculler lane 3, and then a couple of lanes across to Fremantle lane 6, our top two. So Luke Purdy and Liam Davis, as they certainly enjoy these very good conditions for singles sculling here, which I know, Stuart, you're watching very carefully, with a race to take on in an hour or two's time, keeping a very keen eye on the conditions we've had of your lap over the course.
Well, I'm just happy it's not raining. It's very hard to row with no fingerprints, so anytime it's sunny makes me very, very happy. Tomorrow might be a bit of an issue though.
Yes, there are some thunderstorms on the forecast, aren't there, for tomorrow afternoon. So which luckily is the shortest day of the regatta tomorrow. It's scheduled to finish racing about 3 p.m, so it might prove to be a stroke of genius by the organisers to get the racing out of the way before that happens. But we'll wait and see how the weather, or if the weather impacts on tomorrow's racing. But it shouldn't today, apart from about 20 from Through the 1500 metre mark now, in this third repechage of 6 in the under-19 men's single scull, and it's still the same top two. Again, we've had a change in the race for third and fourth, but Luke Purdy and Liam Davis clearly are top two, about a length between them also. Hunter Valley Grammar School in first place, and then Fremantle in second. Angus Scott now third again for Radford College, ahead of Ned Neville Clark of the Tamar Rowing Club in Tasmania. And about 11 seconds between those two scullers in third and fourth now. But our top two, lanes 3 and 6, looking to go through here to tomorrow's semi-finals of the under-19 men's single scull, as this large field with 6 heats yesterday and 6 repechages today is narrowed down to what we assume will be a field of 2 or 3 semi-finals of about 8 scullers in each. So the field quickly starts to narrow at this stage of the regatta.
And speaking of things narrowing, we're just seeing a narrowing of the gap between Angus Scott from Radford College in lane 4 and Liam Davis from Fremantle in lane 6. And we can see on the screen there, we've got Luke Purdy from Hunter Valley Grammar. He's right at the top of the screen, and we can hear some cheers coming down from the sidelines. I reckon that's a whole heap of Radford students cheering on Angus Scott, because he does look like he may just have got his bow ball out in front. Liam Davis has now picked up his rate of striking as well. So it's 2 scullers going for it. They've only got about 100 or so metres left to go. Liam Davis has been in front of Angus Scott. Now you can see a big push coming here from the Radford sculler. Will he have enough to be able to get through? It's going to be Luke Purdy from Hunter Valley Grammar. He's got first place. Liam Davis has now pulled a boat length out in front, saw the danger, put the big strokes in, and he will qualify in second place. So Fremantle's Liam Davis going through to the semi-final. A good row there from Angus Scott, just unable to make up that ground through the last 250 metres or so. He'll finish in third place, unfortunately eliminated from this event. And then coming through in fourth place will be Elliot Renton Gibb from Barwon Rowing Club. And then the battle for fifth will be lane number 2, Jack Clark from North Esk, ahead of Tamar's Ned Neville Clark. So a couple of Clarks there from Tasmania, and both coached by Richard Clark.
Yep, the Tasmanians coming across the line now, and the 7th and 8th place about to be confirmed too. It'll be Remy Cameron and Sydney Uni, and then Jai Ol of Rockhampton Fitzroy. But our top two there qualifying for the semi-finals. It was lane 3, Hunter Valley Grammar, Luke Purdy in first place, and Fremantle's Liam Davis finishing in second. Again, a time that was just gone off screen, but it was again just over 7:25, so very similar to the previous repechage, which does again suggest some great semi-final racing in prospect in this event tomorrow.
Moving on to the 4th repechage for the men's under-19 single sculls. Lane 2 from Launceston Grammar, Archie Burke, coached by James Cumming and Jack Barrett. In lane 3 from St Ignatius College in New South Wales, Ambrose Hennessy. Oscar Skeel Gamborg, coached by Tom Schranko and Kieran Kabelke. Lane 5 from the Southport School, Matthew Coleman. Lane 6 from Pembroke School, Alex Lee, coached by Simon Lane. Lane 7 from Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club, Harry Brandt, coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson. And lane 8, also from the Southport School, Hunter Douglas. And Oscar Skeel Gamborg out in front. He was a double scull winner in the under-19s at the New South Wales Championships, and leading by 3 seconds over Matthew Coleman from the Southport School. So lanes 4 and 5 in the middle, our leading 2 scullers, and then 4 seconds back to Alex Lee, Archie Burke and Harry Brandt not far behind Alex in 4th and 5th. And then back a little bit further to Hunter Douglas in 5th place. And again, we're seeing that view from the BRO boat, looking out towards the Blue Mountains off in the distance. A little bit of haze still out there, but conditions certainly Oscar Skeel Gamborg leading by just over a boat length ahead of Matthew Coleman in 2nd place. So Mossman and the Southport School looking comfortable in those qualification positions. Archie Burke now moving up into 3rd place. He's from Launceston Grammar. Alex Lee from Pembroke School in 4th place. Harry Brandt sitting in 5th place. He is the Rockhampton Fitzroy sculler. And again, that view overlooking the 1,500 metre turning timing point. I've got to stop saying turning. If they're turning, then it's...
Make sure when you're racing, it's not the turning point, Stuart. No turning around at that stage of the race.
Look, sometimes one arm can be a little bit stronger.
Indeed, yes.
It's not head of the Yarra.
No corners on this course. Interesting. The Barwon course I've been at the last 3 days has 2 slight bends on the 1500 metres as well, so it does add to the degree of difficulty for a lot, mainly coxed events, of course, but there are some single sculling races too, which can add a degree of complexity in making their way down the course for those young scullers.
Yeah, I remember racing at the Nepean, on the Nepean for a cricket regatta one time, and there were a couple of little turns in there and then a great big railway bridge just before the finish line to certainly make things, liven it up a little bit.
Indeed, it can be boring here in a straight line with nothing in the way, but in any case, doing a pretty good job here of these 2 scullers out in front from both Mossman and the Southport School. Oscar Shiel-Gamborg of Mossman and Matthew Coleman from the Southport School. The coach listed for the TSS Sculler, but I assume that's a member of their Head of the River winning first 8 from a couple of weeks ago that was coached by Cameron Kennedy. He sits about a bit over a length behind Oscar Shiel-Gamborg from Mossman Rowing Club, who looks set to take the win here. A good race for third too. The sculler from the Pembroke School and Launceston Grammar on the other side of the course. But the top 2 only will go through here, and the Mossman sculler has this race in control. The gap is shrinking late, but he's timed it to perfection and will go across just over a length clear. So Oscar Shiel-Gamborg, the win for Mossman. Second place, Matthew Coleman from the Southport School. Third indeed will go to Pembroke's Alex Lee on lane 6, just ahead of Launceston Grammar. Archie Burke over in lane 2. Fifth place then is that grey-coloured boat of the Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club. Harry Brandt will finish 5th. And 6th looks likely to be another Southport School sculler, Hunter Douglas, with I think lane 3 vacant in that race, so there must have been a scratching earlier on. But a field of 6 just about all across 9-0, the unofficial.
Particularly towards the end there, so certainly had that well under control. Moving on to race number 110, it's the 5th repechage of the men's under-19 single sculls, and we can see there the view from the BRO boat. Lane 2 from Scotch Oakburn College in Tasmania, Ollie Dowling, coached by Jim Wilson and Andrew Dick. In lane 3 from Radford College in the ACT, Rowan White, coached by Mackenzie Moore, Will Hatcher and Gordon Marks. Lane 4 from Essendon Rowing Club, Rhys Davey, coached by Bill Nugent. In lane 5 from Brisbane Boys College, Conrad Scott, coached by Blaine Hesseltine. In lane 6, also from Radford College, Joshua Miller, coached by Will Hatcher, Mackenzie Moore and Gordon Marks. Lane 7 from the Southport School, Samuel Butler. And lane 8 from the West Australian Rowing Club, Javier Chandina, coached by Stefano Belosso. And it was Conrad Scott leading from Brisbane Boys College ahead of Rhys Davey from Essendon Rowing Club, and then a couple of seconds back to Rowan White from Radford College. As again, we just see the view from the BRO boat. We're looking out towards the West Australian Rowing Club, Javier Chandina. And then as we look across now towards the Radford College sculler, Joshua Miller. And then back across to Javier.
It was a great view as they went through the halfway mark there too. The top 4 scullers, only about 2 lengths between them all in lanes. It was 5, 4, 3 and 2, the top 4, so all on that southern side of the course, and still you can see them there now on the right of screen. The race is being led certainly by Conrad Scott of Brisbane Boys College, the Blaine Hesseltine coached sculler there now at BBC, and then in second place Rhys Davey of Essendon, coached by Bill Nugent. Rowan White from Radford College, coached by Mackenzie Moore, William Hatcher and Gordon Marks, who had his birthday yesterday. I think we got that message through very late in the day, but so I thank you. I think Stuart got to pass that one on air. Happy birthday to Gordon Marks yesterday. The Radford College girls are very keen that milestone should not be kept quiet.
Well, I was chatting to Gordo earlier in the day and he never mentioned it, the cheeky little devil.
Apparently he didn't want it to get out, but some of his athletes have outsmarted him there and gone straight to the finish tower to pass on the news.
Are there any secrets in rowing?
Of course not. No, we can't have that.
Conrad Scott from Brisbane Boys College, still leading from Rhys Davey from Essendon Rowing Club, as we just see them now coming up through the 1500s timing point. Conrad Scott with the lead, Rhys Davey in second place, and then some clear water between himself and Rowan White from Radford College. And then Ollie Dowling sitting in fourth place, Joshua Miller from Radford College in fifth place, and then back to Javier Chandina in sixth place. And then it looks to be Samuel Butler from the Southport School at the back of the field. So our leading two scullers certainly looking very comfortable. You don't ever want to say that they're a certainty because, as we know, things can and have happened.
Indeed, yeah. No, just Ray Abbott, who called the head of the river in Brisbane 2 weeks ago, has just come back in, coffee in hand, to remind us that Conrad Scott's the captain of boats at Brisbane Boys College. So they'd won the previous 3 Brisbane head of the river. They weren't able to repeat that this year, but Conrad Scott was the captain of boats in that BBC program. Still a very strong program up in Queensland. They went off to the Henley Royal Regatta last year as well too, and tried their luck over there against a lot of the best of the school crews that the world has to offer. What's becoming a great competition, the Henley Regatta. Now, out to 6 days, it's getting bigger and bigger all the time as well.
Yeah, look, it's just one of those events.
Recently modernised a lot, Henny, and it's great to see, because I recall I did get to go about 20 years ago, and at the time their website said on it, Henley Royal Regatta does not receive email. That was the official line back in the early 2000s. But in any case, here comes Conrad Scott from most of the way down, and they continue to be Radford College. Joshua Miller coming home pretty well, along with Rowan White. So 2 scullers from Radford College. They're both leading it in 3rd and 4th from Ollie Dowling of Scotch Oakburn. But only the top 2 will go through, and a well-controlled race here comes to an end for Conrad Scott of Brisbane Boys College in lane 5. 2 lengths clear of lane 4. Reece Davey of Essendon. 3rd will be Rowan White, winning the battle of the Radford College scullers for 3rd and 4th. Joshua Miller in 4th place. 5th to Ollie Dowling from Scotch Oakburn. 6th place, lane 8, the West Australian Rowing Club, and then the Southport School in 7th.
So the winner of Repechage number 5, Brisbane Boys College, Conrad Scott. 2nd place to Reece Davey from Essendon Rowing Club. Those 2 scullers going through to the semi-finals. A winning time for Conrad Scott of 7 minutes 33.1. Moving on to the 6th repechage of the men's under-19 single sculls, and again 1st and 2nd through to the semi-finals. Lane 1 from Canberra Rowing Club and the ACT Academy of Sport, Ben Haywood, coached by David Bagnall and David Fermano. Lane 2 from Brisbane State High, Owen Johnson, coached by Tom Riles and Tom Herborn. In lane 3 from Norwood International High, Nicholas Halulis, coached by Brenton Terrell and Alexander Worthington. Lane 4 from UTS Haberfield, Oscar St. Pierre, coached by Judith and Matthias Ungermack. In lane 5 from Bundaberg Rowing Club, Logan Cavill, coached by Rodney Dick. In lane 6 from Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club, Angus Murfitt, coached by Paul Blanchfield. Lane 7 from Griffith University Surfers Paradise, Matthew Leskew, coached by Duncan Free and Christopher Holliday. And lane 8 from Rockhampton Fitzroy Rowing Club, Nicholas Thompson, coached by Kim Byrne and Matthew Thompson. As we just see our leading scullers crossing the 1,000 metre, no, that's the 500 timing point. So Angus Murfitt leading Oscar St. Pierre, Matthew Leskew, Logan Cavill, Nicholas Halulis, Owen Johnson, and then back across to Nicholas Thompson and Ben Haywood. So that was through the 500 metres. And again, we'll get a fantastic view during this race of what it looks like the whole way down the course. So you can see there that bridge over on the right-hand side that's going from the training lake out towards the competition lake. So you get through that and you go, all right, I'm just under halfway through. Just
beginning.
Yeah, exactly right. So, but it is a marker there. It is something that tells you, okay, you know, I am getting closer towards the finish.
Yeah, it does show the great design of this course too, which of course has now been copied at many places around the world, with the Transit Lake effectively separate from the race course for a large part of the journey. So the warm-up area is behind that. The bridge, which is just disappearing from shot there on the right of screen, but a substantial warm-up area in the transit lane up to the start. Says the non-athlete here. I should you explain how the course works, Stuart, given you've raced over it a few times.
I'm not exactly sure I'm the best place, but no, you've got the warm-up lake over on the right-hand side there behind what is the island, or it's known as the island. So the competitors do have an opportunity. You know, you can get out there a little bit earlier. I know I generally like to get on about half an hour beforehand, do a quick little loop, you know, blow some of the cobwebs out. Always very important when you're in your 40s and about to race in an Australian Rowing Championships, and then head down towards the, on the right-hand side there, you can see the timing hut So you'll come out at the bridge, head down towards the start line, and then you'll wait down at the start, marshal up, attach to the pontoon, and then away you go. So you're looking out for those markers along the way to help you get through. And just through the 1,000 metres now, our two leading scullers out in front. So that is Oscar St. Pierre from UTS Haberfield, a former Australian junior representative. Angus Murfitt from Wendouree Ballarat, less than a second back in second. And then about a 6-second gap to Matthew Lescu from Griffith University Surfers Paradise. So through the first 1,000, the race very much into Logan Cavell from Bundaberg, Nicholas Halulis from Norwood International High in a group with Matthew Lescu, so that is places 3, 4 and 5. Ben Hayward from Canberra Rowing Club in 6th place, and then Owen Johnson from Brisbane State High and Nicholas Thompson from Rockhampton Fitzroy making up our field there. So only first and second going through to the semi-finals. And again, you can just see the 12:50 mark just disappearing, or just on the left-hand side of the screen. So again, you're looking, I know I'm always looking out for those ones, particularly in the single scull. And it's a good marker as well to be able to go, okay, well, when am I going to put the foot down? When am I going to do a little bit of a sprint? The red boys certainly at the end, towards the end of the course, are that marker that, oh my goodness, it's nearly all over.
Yes, we should stress for those younger athletes who may be listening, when you say looking out at these markers, of course, without a substantial turn of the head and the body, of course, just a bit of a glance in the right direction, not to upset the balance or the speed of the boat.
Yeah, absolutely. You're only really looking out, I guess, if you are in those qualification positions, and if you do have someone nearby, then it's sort of out the corner of the eye. But it does make it quite interesting when you are behind in a rowing race, because to look to where somebody is behind you, you do have to turn your head, do the owl turning its head kind of a thing, but also doing it without, ruining the run of the boat. Because if you do miss a couple of strokes, if you do have a little crab, that can affect it, and that can mean that you're then all of a sudden, even further behind.
Why it can be such a great sport for front runners, the ability to sit in front of the race and watch the rest of the field as they try and come at you. And Oscar St. Pierre doing exactly that now, ahead of Angus Murfitt of Wendouree Ballarat, but still comfortable in second place. So 5:39.02 the time for St. Pierre through 1,500 metres, 1.39 seconds back on Angus Murfitt, and then almost over 7 1/3 of a second back to the sculler in third place. That sculler on screen now is Nicholas Thompson from Rockhampton Fitzroy, who sits back in about 6th or 7th place, but it certainly is UTS Haberfield who lead it. Oscar St. Pierre took the lead in the second 500 ahead of the Wendouree Ballarat sculler Angus Murfitt, who is a current Year 12 student too at the St. Patrick's College in Ballarat. He rode in their Head of the Lake winning crew back a few weeks ago on Lake Wendouree, a very narrow win. A fantastic race actually that was between St. Patrick's and their rivals from Ballarat, Clarendon College, and St. Patrick's getting up in the last couple of strokes to claim their first win in 6 years. So I imagine we'll see Angus Murfitt back on the water in the St. Pat's colours later on in the school regatta as well.
And it is something worthwhile mentioning that for a lot of our school rowers, they have done their big regattas very, very recently, in the last couple of days, where we've had the schoolgirl Head of the River down in Victoria on the weekends that you were at.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of very tired girls from that who have been busy racing yesterday and today as well. And the Head of the Lake for Ballarat schools is their own, just the 6th Ballarat schools race. It's on a Sunday in late February, and it's a huge event in Ballarat. I was lucky enough to go this year for the first time. The crowds are huge. The interest is massive in rowing on that day.
So out in front now in the 6th repechage, it is Oscar St. Pierre from UTS Haberfield. He's coached by Matthias and Judith Ungermack, and he's led this one from start to finish and just taking it very comfortably towards the end, holding on for a boat-length win over Wendouree Ballarat's Angus Murfitt. So we'll definitely see him again in the single sculls as they go through to the semi-finals. Coming through in third place, it will be lane number 3, Nicholas Halulis from Norwood International High, ahead of Griffith University's Matthew Lescu in 4th. 5th place going to Ben Hayward from Canberra Rowing Club, a good row from him. In 6th place will be Nicholas Thompson from Rockhampton Fitzroy. 7th to Owen Johnson from Brisbane State High, and then Logan Cavell from Bundaberg Rowing Club in 8th place. The winning time there for Oscar St. Pierre, 7 minutes 33.39 with a winning margin of 2.19 seconds. So very consistently around that 7:33 for each of our repechages in the men's under-19 single sculls. As we move now from sculling to sweeping, it's the repechage for the first repechage for the women's under-19 coxless pairs. First 4 through to the semi-finals, with the rest eliminated from this event. In lane 2 from Nagambie and Mercantile Rowing Clubs, we have Kate McNeil and Clodagh McCarthy, coached by Suzanne Andrews and Andrew McNeil. Lane 3 from the University of Queensland, Astrid Coates and Charlotte Zentfeld, coached by Philip Bergignon and Lily Lunny. In lane 4 from Commercial Rowing Club in Queensland, Indiana Jenkinson and Rose Ricks, coached by David Vandis. In lane 5 from Melbourne University, Zara Peel and Zoe Hall. In lane 6 from Sydney Rowing Club, Olivia Kelly and Sarah Bevington, coached by Charlie Patterson. And lane 7 from Brisbane and GPS Rowing Club, Poppy Yarsky and Abby Collins, and they're coached by Maddie Pekelia and Nigel Stubbs. So through the first 1,000 metres, Commercial leading the Nagambie Mercantile Composite, Sydney sitting in 3rd place, and then a couple of seconds back to the University of Queensland, 2 seconds then to Brisbane and GPS and Melbourne University, another couple of seconds back in 6th place. So first 4 going through to the semi-final. As again we see the view from the BR rowboat. We've got the University of Queensland crew of Astrid Coates and Charlotte Zentfeld up in the middle of the screen. Off to their left-hand side, the Nagambie Mercantile Composite of Kate McNeil and Clodagh McCarthy. And then behind on the right-hand side in lane number 3, Commercial Rowing Club's Indiana Jenkinson and Rose Ricks. So some fantastic camera angles that we've got here, Richard, just to change it up a bit. And also it's a view that you wouldn't necessarily see, particularly at local regattas.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to get sort of down low on the water and see the boats travelling down from water level effectively. So, and speaking of girls who've done a lot of races in recent days, I can tell you a bit about Kate McNeil and Clodagh McCarthy over on the far side of the course, who both 15 years of age, I understand. They both go to school at the Haileybury School in Melbourne, but between them took a gold medal each at the head of the schoolgirls on Sunday afternoon. Kate McNeil winning the Year 10 single scull, and Clodagh McCarthy winning the open single scull event. So combining together here, of course, in the pair. They've had great success in both the pair and double scull in Victoria and in New South Wales. I think they came to the New South Wales Championships and took back a couple of medals from there as well. So young but yeah, very promising combination there, McNeil and McCarthy, coached by Susan Andrews and also Andrew McNeil. But they sit in 2nd place behind our race leaders on lane 4 from Commercial. That's Indiana Jenkinson and Rose Ricks, who are coached by David Vandis, and they're comfortably clear. It is this is the only repechage too of the under-19 women's pair, so it does mean the top 4 will go through. It's not quite the same cutthroat qualification as we saw in the single sculling events that recently concluded. So it would be Commercial in front, the Nagambie Mercantile Composite probably 2nd place, then Sydney, Olivia Kelly and Sarah Bevington, who are coached by Charlie Patterson, and at this stage the other qualifying crew would be the University of Queensland on lane 3, Astrid Coates and Charlotte Zentfeld, coached by Phil Bourguignon and Lily Lunny.
So into the final stages now. We've got about 150 metres left to go for our leading crew, Indiana Jenkinson and Rose Ricks from Commercial Rowing Club. You can see them up on the screen there with the number 4 bow number behind Kate McNeil and Clodagh McCarthy, which for a 15-year-old crew in an under-19 event, they're rowing very, very well. A couple of names to keep an eye out for the future.
Absolutely, and just as competent in the double scull as they are in the pair, though, so they can really row a number of different boats.
So Commercial Rowing Club with the lead. They've got a couple of strokes left to go and they'll go through. There's a shout of go Commercial from the grandstands. It will be a win for Indiana Jenkinson and Rose Ricks. 2nd place will go to Kate McNeil and Clodagh McCarthy from Nagambie and Mercantile, with 3rd going to Sydney Rowing Club's Olivia Kelly and Sarah Bevington. Our final qualifiers will be the University of Queensland's Astrid Coates and Charlotte Zentfeld, with our 5th placed crew being the Brisbane and GPS crew of Poppy Yarsky and Abby Collins, finishing ahead of Zara Peel and Zoe Hall. So a winning time there for the Commercial crew of 8 minutes 5.11, with a gap of 6.26 seconds back to 2nd and then 1.71 seconds back to 3rd. So Commercial, Nagambie Mercantile Composite, Sydney and University of Queensland going through to the semi-finals and the women's under-19 coxless pairs.
The sole repechage there, the top 4 through to the semis. We'll see that race on the course tomorrow. And then we go now to 2 repechages of the under-19 men's coxless pair. So with 2 repechages, just 1st and 2nd, we'll go through directly, in this case, to the A final. Lane 2, Ignatius Park and Cathedral Townsville, a composite crew from there from North Queensland. Pembroke School, Lane 3, Wendouree Ballarat in 4, St Peter's College of South Australia in Lane 5, and the West Australian Rowing Club racing in Lane 6 as they come now through the 1500 metre mark, so rapidly approaching the conclusion here of this race and being led in the centre lane by Wendouree Ballarat, Joachim Henderson and Max Mason, coached by Paul Blanchfield.
Yeah, they're sitting ahead of St Peter's College in second place and Pembroke in third, and then the Ignatius Park Cathedral Townsville composite in fourth place, and that's well, it's only the first two to go through to the A final, with the rest going through to the B final. So Wendouree Ballarat and St Peter's College, our two leaders at the moment. It was only 2 seconds between second and third though, so certainly with the of the Pembroke School. So it'll be so if they hold on to that one, they will go through to the A final, the rest going through to the B final. So it's a bit over a boat length between second and third, and then back a little bit further to Ignatius Park Composite with Cathedral School and the West Australian Rowing Club in lane number 6. So that nice arrow formation coming down the course as you would expect with the repecharges. The fastest crews getting those middle lanes, so it is always important, even in the heats, to try and make sure that you are going as quickly as possible, maximise your result to maximise your lane draw.
Absolutely, and yes, Wendouree Ballarat doing it well here in the closing strokes, probably the best part of 3 lengths now clear, so they will join the field in the A final. The heat winners from yesterday qualifying directly for that final, which will take place on Thursday morning, the first morning of finals here at the Australian Rowing Championships for 2024, and the top 2 will go through and join that final field. So Joachim Henderson and Max Mason from the Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club, about 3 lengths clear as they come across and take the win on lane 4. Second place in the grey boat there, St Peter's of Adelaide, George Griffith and Hugh Hazel also qualifying for the A final, and the rest of the field will go to the B final, which will be held for this event. Third, Pembroke School, O'Mahony and Archer it is. Fourth place then in that distinctive coloured boat, it is Chin and Bartels from Ignatius Park and the Cathedral School of Townsville, and fifth place from the West Australian Rowing Club, Bias and Reading, the combination there as they come across the line as well.
So confirmation of the results in the first repechage for the men's under-19 coxless pairs. A win for Wendouree Ballarat, second place to St Peter's College. They'll go through to the A final with Pembroke School, Ignatius Park Cathedral Composite and West Australian Rowing Club going through to the B final. Winning time of 7 minutes 12.44 and a winning margin of just under 7 seconds. Moving on to our second repechage for the men's under-19 coxless pairs. Lane 2 from St Peter's College, Vincent Baroni and Lawrence Anderson. In lane 3 from Brisbane Boys College, Parker Pahio and Joshua Deal, coached by Blaine Hesseltine. In lane 4 from Brisbane State High, Ruben Brosnan and Jason McKenzie, coached by Tom Riles and Tom Herborn. In lane 5 from the Friends School in Tasmania, Jack Connor and Hamish Klein, coached by Ian Jordan. And lane 6 from Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club, Oscar Farrington and Harrison Grant, and they're coached by Jamie McDonald and Paul Blanchfield. And it was Brisbane State High leading Brisbane.
Great to see Brisbane State High School. They've been there at State High, who certainly when I was at school, State High were very much, unfortunately, the easy beats of the rowing program in the GPS in Brisbane. A large school, but not always with the resources to run a successful rowing program. But Tom Herborn they actually went to the same school I did, to Churchie, but has gone across to work at State High and doing a good job there. And Tom Riles coached their Open First 8, who finished in 4th place at the Head of the River a couple of weeks ago, which is their best result in many years. They do appear to be a school on the up in both schoolgirls and schoolboys rowing Brisbane State High School.
And it's worthwhile pointing out that Brisbane State High is the only Brisbane GPS school that is non-fee paying. So they are literally a state school. Absolutely. If you live in West End or South Brisbane, you will go to Brisbane State High as your local high school.
Yep, no, it is. That's exactly right, and it's a large school. The catchment area, I think, is much sought after now. It's an area of Brisbane, as you know, Stuart, that's changed a lot in the last few decades around West End and South Brisbane. A lot of high-rise apartment development now too. So the catchment for State High is growing. As another new school, I think, opened in that area too recently as well. So they have plenty of resources in terms of students and athletes, but always looking to direct their rowing program onto bigger and better things, and they're certainly doing that here. This combination from State High of Ruben Brosnan and Jason McKenzie.
And I think the Friends School have just made their move through that third 500 metres. You can see them there in lane 5. So it's Brisbane State High as they're coming up towards the 1500, leading by what's an ever-decreasing margin from the Friends School. And then we do have a bit of a gap to our other two crews. So Wendouree Ballarat from Victoria in fourth.
Also coached by another churchy old boy in the form of Australian lightweight rower Blaine Heseltine too. He's been sharing himself around the programs of Brisbane as well, but now doing his thing at BBC. But they're sitting just outside the qualifying spots here with just 2 to go through to the A final.
You're listening to Razor chat a couple of days ago, and he was saying that Brisbane State High have twice come second in the schoolboy head of the river up in Brisbane, and both times by about a bow ball.
Yes, there's been some close run things over the history of the event for them, but certainly been a long time since they were up towards the pointy end. But heading in the right direction here, and maybe not going to claim a race win here, because the Friends School certainly have come home very, very strong. Both are going to qualify, which is the most important result from this race for these two crews, you would think, unless the Blaine Heseltine coach BBC pair can mount a very, very late charge, but they do sit about 2 lengths outside the qualifying spot. But here go. The have certainly gone straight past. Seem determined to get the best lane they possibly can in the A final to come on Thursday in the under-19 men's coxless pair. It is the Friends School in the red colours. They're ahead of the multicoloured suities there of Brisbane State High School, but the Friends School will come across and get the win by about 2/3 of a length. So it is Connor and Klein who win it for Friends of Tasmania. Brisbane State High School second, Brosnan and McKenzie, but they'll both qualify for the A final. Third will go to Brisbane Boys College, Pahio and Deal. Fourth and fifth will be tight as well. In fact, on either side of the course, maybe just on this side, the lane 6 crew from Wendouree Ballarat, Oscar Farrington and Harrison Grant. And then in 5th place, it'll be St Peters of Adelaide, Vincent Baroni and Lawrence Anderson.
Confirmation of results from the second repechage of the men's under-19 coxless pairs. A win for the Friends School. Jack Connor and Hamish Klein. Brisbane State High, Ruben Brosnan and Jason McKenzie in second place. Those two crews going through to the A final, with Brisbane Boys College, Wendouree Ballarat and St Peters College going through to the B final. Moving on now to the first repechage for the women's under-21 single sculls. First and club, Stephanie Potma, coached by Mark Beer. In lane 3 from Sydney University, Ciara Ortolani, coached by Alan Bennett and Alfie Young. In lane 4 from Griffith University Surfers Paradise, Gemma Jansen Van Vuren, coached by Anthony Cook and Christopher Holliday. Lane 5 from Adelaide University, Carolyn McNally, coached by Christine McLaren, Nicholas Mitchell and Sam Morton. And lane 6 from Commercial Rowing Club, Paris Reed, and she's coached by Jacinta Edmonds. And then through the 1,000 metres, it was Gemma Jansen Van Vuren with the lead by about 4 seconds over Carolyn McNally. Paris Reed sitting in 3rd place ahead of Ciara Ortolani, and then back a little bit further to Stephanie Potma from Swan River Rowing Club. So the first two going through to the semi-finals, and as mentioned, Gemma Jansen Van Vuren and Carolyn McNally from Griffith University and Adelaide University. So a couple of university scullers leading this race through the first 1,000.
Yep, absolutely. And then Commercial there in 3rd place. There are 3 scullers on the screen now, lanes 4, 5 and 6, battling out for the just the 2 qualifying spots on offer here for this first of 2 repechages, the under-21 women's at single scull, to move through to the semi-finals tomorrow. So we saw the heats again about this time yesterday morning for the under-21 single. They heat winners straight through to the semis already. Have a day off, or a day off as far as this event's concerned. I think a few of these names look to be appearing in some double sculls and bigger boats later on today as well. So it's often big programs for a number of these athletes who, if they're going to come to the national championships, want to be in as many events as they possibly can and increase their chance of taking home some medals towards the end of the week.
Absolutely. So it is still Griffith University Surfers Paradise out in the lead. Jansen van Vuren ahead of McNally from Adelaide University, and seeing a little bit of a push here from Ciara Ortolani from Sydney University. And again, we say it so often, that third 500 metres is where you can tell, if somebody has absolutely pushed off the line and spent all their tickets early.
Have we used the phrase premiership quarter yet at this regard? I think we're required to do so at least once a day, aren't we? And
it is commentators, it's the rules around
bingo.
commentary.
It's on the card there somewhere, I'm sure.
So the premiership quarter here going through here, Gemma Jansen van Vuren. And we're seeing that push here on the premiership quarter from Adelaide University's Carolyn McNally. And she has started to really move up. And I think she may just even have a bow ball out in front as we're coming up now towards the 1,500 metre timing point. And it is Carolyn McNally with the lead, half a boat length over Gemma Jansen van Vuren. And then back a little bit further to Paris Reed from Commercial Rowing Club. She's about 6 seconds back, so it would take a big push to be able to go through into third place, into that final qualification spot. Ciara Ortolani another few seconds behind in fourth place, and then back to Stephanie Potma from the Swan River Rowing Club towards the back of the field. So McNally and Jansen van Vuren, our two leading scullers through the 1,500 metre mark, and looking quite comfortable out there. And again, the conditions still nice and still. The flag's certainly drooping, I would say. They're not really being blown anywhere. They're just
not
sort
at
of
full strength, no, definitely. They new. I know I've not been here for several years, Stuart. The flags look nice and new here. There's been some decorations done, obviously, in the 5 years since we last raced nationals on this course.
Yeah, it's credit to the work that the team have been doing out here, and also I know that Rowing New South Wales do a lot of work to try and make sure that it's, I know when we come up for New South Wales Championships, we come up from the ACT, we come up for a number of other regattas as well, I think, and it's always fantastic to be able to come in, use the facilities, and really get that experience racing here at Cirque.
Yeah, the term legacy has been used a lot. It's a bit of controversy, I know, about the Brisbane Olympics and their venues coming out overnight. We'll leave that alone for now, but it is great to see this course, which was, of course, built for the Sydney 2000 Games, still a quarter of a century later in such great condition for the National Championships. And we are seeing still this strong finish continue from Carolyn McNally of Adelaide University, coached by Christine McLaren, Nick Mitchell and Sam Morton, ahead of Gemma Jansen van Vuren of the Griffith University Surfers Paradise Club, coached by Anthony Cook and Christopher Holiday. They'll be our two qualifiers. The Jacinta Edmonds coach sculler Paris Reed's come home pretty well, but won't be able to make up enough ground at the end of the race. The win will go to lane 5. Adelaide University, Carolyn McNally comes across for the win in the first repechage of the under-21 women's singles scull, ahead of Gemma Jansen van Vuren. Third, Ortolani, and fifth will be the sculler from Swan River, Stephanie Potma.
So confirmation of the results in the first repechage for the under-21 women's single scull. A win for Carolyn McNally from Adelaide University. Second place to Gemma Jansen van Vuren from Griffith University Surfers Paradise. Those two scullers going through to the semi-finals. Third place Paris Reed from Commercials. Fourth Ciara Ortolani from Sydney University. And fifth Stephanie Potma from Swan River. Winning time there for Carolyn McNally of 8 minutes 25.65.
So one repechage down, one to go in the under-21 women's singles scull. And they're at the halfway mark now in that second repechage. Lane 2 is Adelaide Tamika Coveney. Lane 3, the Australian National University Brooklyn Leslie. Lane 4, Mercantile Zoe Core. Lane 5, University of Western Australia Kayla Calvite. And lane 6, the Corio Bay Rowing Club from Geelong, Leia Murphy.
Yeah, so that's ANU sculler in lane number 3, Brooklyn Leslie. She was one of the talent identification people, so she's only about 12 months in the boat, racing here at the national title, sitting in third place at the moment, so just outside of that qualification position, but certainly very powerful, particularly over the lower rates, can really get the boat moving, and I feel like the longer that she rows for, she's going to be a hell of a lot better.
Indeed, yeah, not a name I had seen before, but so identified what, after school?
After school, yep. So, so I think, can't remember what sport she was doing beforehand, but so for someone who's fairly new to the sport, sitting quite comfortably at the moment, you can see her there on the screen. It looks like she may have even made a little bit of a move through, coming into this third section. So, Through the first part, we did have Leah Murphy from Corio Bay leading Kayla Calvite from the University of WA, and then it was 2 seconds back to Brooklyn Leslie. So we'll wait and see how it is when they go through the 1,500 metres. But the University of WA sculler Kayla Calvite's up on the screen at the moment in lane number 5, and you can see her in the foreground, maintaining a nice steady rate, getting that boat to move through the water quite nicely as well. So, and then Brooklyn Leslie from the Australian National University in the background there.
Heading towards the 1,500 metre mark now. We'll get a timing check on them very soon, but it's definitely a clear top 3 in this race. That Kayla Calvite of University of Western Australia does appear to be at the head of the field, as that lane 5 boat there is about to go through the timing point, and still up alongside her as well would be the Corio Bay sculler, Leah Murphy.
Well, Brooklyn Leslie has moved ahead.
Yes, she has.
It's half a second ahead of Leah Murphy. So we'll keep an eye out on that. It's only the first 2 through to the semi-finals. Brooklyn Leslie moving nicely through that through that Premiership quarter 500.
Well done, 2 races in a row. This is easy now.
Oh, look, we've set it up for the rest of the commentators for the rest of the time. Zoe Corr sitting in 4th place, and then back a little bit further to Tamika Coveney from Adelaide Rowing Club in 5th place. So we're seeing our leading scullers up on the screen at the moment. It does look like, well, it's still Kayla Calvite from the University of Western Australia, but Brooklyn Leslie has put on that push, and she has managed to put in a bit of a distance, it looks like, between her and Leah Murphy from Corio Bay Rowing Club, just dropping a little bit off the pace through that third 500, and now coming up towards the 1750, a little bit more pace off there, and then back a little bit further, Zoe Corr and Tamika Coveney from Mercantile and Adelaide Rowing Clubs respectively.
A few lanes between those scullers battling for 2nd and 3rd, so as we mentioned before, it's a challenge to keep track of the other boats without disrupting the flow of the boat, particularly important here in what may well be a close finish, but it does look like the relatively new sculler from the Australian National University, Brooklyn Leslie, coached by Nigel Harding and David Fermano, has possibly got herself up into a clear 2nd spot. But Leah Murphy from Corio Bay will certainly respond down here on the grandstand side of the course. She's coached by Dick Garrett on the Barwon River in Geelong, but they both sit behind our race leader from the University of Western Australia Boat Club, Kayla Calvite, coached by Roland Warren, Mia Williams and Jonathan Jaschke, who's certainly the comfortable race leader and has been for a lot of the journey down the 2,000 metre course here. And it does look, Stuart, like the sculler from the ACT will get 2nd spot here.
Yeah, so it's Kayla Calvite from the University of Western Australia who has the lead, sitting a boat length ahead of Brooklyn Leslie from ANU, and then Corio Bay's Leah Murphy in 3rd place. As they're coming in towards the finish line now, you can see there on the screen it will be a win for Kayla Calvite from the University of Western Australia. 2nd place will go to the Australian National University sculler Brooklyn Leslie, with 3rd going to Leah Murphy from Corio Bay Rowing Club, just missing out on the qualification position in the women's under-21 single sculls. 4th place will go to lane 4. To Tamika Coveney from Adelaide Rowing Club. Winning time there for Kayla Calvite of 8 minutes 30.27, and that compares to the winning time in the first heat of 8 minutes 25. So a little bit slower, but certainly Kayla was very comfortable out in front and had that race well and truly under control.
Indeed she did, and we now go to the 2 repechages of the under-21 men's at single scull. In fact, the 4 repechages. 5? No, it keeps going. 5 in total in the under-21 men's single scull, which looking for 2 spots in each into the semi-finals of this event. So in repechage 1, race 117, it's Adelaide University racing in lane 2. Adelaide University also in lane 3. It's James Williams in 2, Hugo Worm in 3, Charlie Stevenson of the University of the West Australian Rowing Club, I should say, in lane 4, Andrew Waitman, University of Queensland, lane 5, Harry Birchmore of UTS in 6, and Edward Chipperfield of Adelaide Uni in lane 7. And it is Andrew Waitman who leads this on lane 5 for the University of Queensland, coached by his father David, along with Phil Bourguignon at the University of Queensland Boat Club, and ever so narrowly lead it at the halfway mark, ahead of Charlie Stevenson from the West Australian Rowing Club, who was in 2nd place, just 0.28 of a second between them. But as they head up towards 1,500, I would venture that margin has extended quite substantially, in the lane 5 scull there from the University of Queensland is going to go through at least 2 lengths clear now. as he sits comfortably in a qualifying spot, 5:21.75, and it's 4.36 seconds ahead of Charlie Stevenson from the West Australian Rowing Club. And then a big gap back to the remaining 4 scullers on the course. Hugo Worm best placed there from Adelaide Uni on lane 3. Then Edward Chipperfield of Adelaide University as well. They've got 3 scullers in this race, Adelaide University. Harry Birchmore is next from UTS Haberfield, and James Williams, the third of the Adelaide University scullers on lane 2. But a pretty clear top 2 here in the qualifying spots.
Yeah, Andrew Waitman from University of Queensland and Charlie Stevenson from the West Australian Rowing Club, our 2 leaders, and looking very comfortable indeed. They'll go through, as things stand, they'll go through to the semi-finals before with the rest eliminated from this event. So some nice little, I'm just looking through some of the names coming up in the other repechage as well. There's certainly some very handy rowers in each of the repechages that we have for the men's under 21 single sculls. So the 5 repechages, this is our first one, and Andrew Waitman from University of Queensland well and truly out in front. So it was close at the 1,000 metres, and he's just extended that, managed to push through that third 500 metres, and again just extending that lead going through the final stages of this repechage. So Andrew Waitman from the University of Queensland with some nice clear water between himself and Charlie Stevenson from the West Australian Rowing Club, our 1 and 2. You can just see there Charlie Stevenson lowering that rate of striking as he comes into the red buoys, marking the last 250 metres of the course. But Andrew Waitman from the University of Queensland will cross the line in first place. He's through to the semi-finals of the men's under 21 single sculls and did that very comfortably indeed. Charlie Stevenson from the West Australian Rowing Club also qualifying for the semi-finals. He went through in second place, and then coming through in third, so just missing out, will be Hugo Worm from Adelaide University, and he'll finish ahead of Edward Chipperfield, also from Adelaide University. And then in fourth place, so he's in fourth place. And then the fifth place, it will just look like James Williams finishing in fifth, just ahead of Harry Birchmore from UTS in sixth place. So Andrew Waitman and Charlie Stevenson, our qualifiers from the first repechage of the men's under 21 single sculls, and a winning time there for Andrew, 7 minutes 14.6.
First of 5 repechages concluded there. The top 2 going through to the semis, as will be the case in repechage 2 now on the course. Lane 2, James Scott Brown from Sydney University. Lane 3, Jesse Rosen of the Canberra Rowing Club. Lane 4 is Jack Power from UTS Haberfield. Lane 5, Charles Ryden from Corio Bay. Lane 6, Archie Critchell from Mercantile. And Lane 7, William Wolf from the Sydney University Boat Club.
So our leaders through the first 500 was Jack Power ahead of Charles Ryden. Jesse Rosen, 0.24 seconds behind in third, and then back to James Scott Brown. We just see them going through the 1,000 metres, and there's, again, not much. It's only about a boat length between first and third. So Jack Power with the lead, Charles Ryden in second, Jesse Rosen in third, and then a little bit of a gap, 7.5 seconds back to William Wolf in fourth, James Scott Brown in fifth, and Archie Critchell in sixth place. Jesse Rosen, rowing for Canberra Rowing Club this year, was out at Marist College last made it through to the A final from memory. Double that were very, very quick. A lot of very quick rowers coming out of Marist College down in Canberra over the last few years.
So that'd be effectively 18 or 19-year-olds racing in the under 21 event here.
Yeah, 19, I think, from memory. So Jesse graduated last year, so yeah, 19 years old. So still plenty of growing to do. And again, we spoke about the Olympics earlier. That carrot is really very much there, that chance to be able to go through. It does look like confirmation that the Olympic rowing course will be at Wyaralong. A lot of work to be done, but certainly that chance to row in Queensland. And I guess the really big carrot is, don't forget, there has not been an Australian home rowing gold medalist. In 56 in Melbourne and in 2000 in Sydney, no gold medals. Here's the big shot.
Yeah, exactly right. So we mightn't have a stadium yet, but we will have a rowing course at least in Brisbane, if nothing else. And the Queensland State Rowing Centre at Wyaralong, just outside Brisbane. Very clear top three certainly in this race. Just going for 2 qualifying spots through to the semis of the under-21 men's single sculls. So a lot to race for here for Jack Power, Charles Raden and also Jesse Rosen. The 3 scullers here right across the course in adjacent lanes, and there's half a length from first to third there, and it is Jesse Rosen who snuck up narrowly into second place currently ahead of Charles Raden, the sculler from Corio Bay Rowing Club in Geelong. But Jack Power still leads it here for the UTS Haberfield Rowing Club, where he's coached by... Back to the rest of the field, William Wolf in 4th in 6th position at this point.
So certainly none of our 3 leaders are going to be taking it easy through this last stage. We've got 2 qualification spots in the semi-final. We've got 3 very talented rowers that are going through. You know, Charles Raden has had some fantastic results this season for Corio Bay, Jack Power for UTS and Jesse Rosen from Canberra Rowing Club. So all 3 of them, it does look like though that Charles Raden may just be dropping off the pace a little bit. We're seeing that push come from Jack Power from UTS and Jesse Rosen from Canberra Rowing Club through into the last 250 metres, about a boat length between them and Charles Raden from Corio Bay. So, but certainly they can't take it easy, because we've seen sprint finishes, and once you get that momentum going in the boat, you can make that thing fly.
Exactly, and Jesse Rosen doing exactly that. It looks like he's going for the win here. He's moving up right alongside our race leader, Jack Power from UTS Haberfield, and they certainly do look to have left Charles Raden a little bit in their wake in 3rd spot, but it's Jesse Rosen and Jack Power who will go through here, I suspect. They've still got about 70 or 80 metres to go, but first place not yet confirmed. The sculler from Canberra Rowing Club, Jesse Rosen, moving up with every stroke he takes on Jack Power of UTS Haberfield, but the UTS sculler is doing just enough to hold the lead by Jesse Rosen in 2nd place. A great race between these top 3 scullers really all the way down the course. Unfortunately, one had to miss out, and that will be Charles Raden of Corio Bay, a bit over a length back in 3rd place. 4th and 5th is pretty tight too. On the far side, James Scott Brown of Sydney Uni will get up for 4th place, but won't be able to progress any further in this event. Then William Wolf of Sydney Uni in 5th place, and Archie Critchell from Mercantile will finish in 6th.
So confirmation of the results from the 2nd repechage for the men's under-21 single sculls. A win for Jack Power from UTS Haberfield. 2nd, Jesse Rosen from Canberra Rowing Club. Those 2 scullers going through to the semi-final, and a winning time for Jack Power of 7 minutes 16.38. That was just a couple of seconds slower than Andrew Waitman from the University of Queensland in the previous repechage. Moving on to the 3rd repechage of the men's under-21 single sculls. Lane 1 from Toowong Rowing Club, Johan Tan, coached by Mark Game. In lane 2 from the University of Queensland, Lennox Tune, coached by Randall Martin and Peter Toon. In lane 3 from Swan River Rowing Club, Harry Salfinger. In lane 4 from Scotch Oakburn in Tasmania, Cameron Parker, coached by Jim Wilson and Andrew Dick. In lane 5 from Sydney Rowing Club, Nicholas Whalen, coached by Donovan Seck, Shane Mulvaney and Felix Dew. In lane 6 from Wendouree Ballarat, Joshua Matheson, coached by Sam Hutchinson. And lane 7 from Launceston Grammar, Augustin Sullivan Arklis, and he's coached by James Cumming and Jack Barrett. So through the first 1,000, it was Nicholas Whalen out in front, just under 5 seconds ahead of Cameron Parker from Scotch Oakburn. But then Lennox Tune from the University of Queensland and Harry Salfinger from Swan River in 3rd and 4th. It's only top 2 to go through to the semi-final, and halfway through there were 3 boats going for that 2nd qualification position. Joshua Matheson from Wendouree Ballarat, a 2.5 back in 5th place, and then Augustin Sullivan Arklis and Johan Tan making up the back of the field there. So it'll be interesting to see here, Richard, through the 1,500 metres as to who's sitting nicely. We have 3 rowers going for 2 qualification spots, and it looks like here we've got 3 rowers going for 1 qualification spot.
Yes, it's even closer racing than the previous repechage potentially, but we're about to see them go through 1,500 metres, so we'll get a better idea of who sits where. But that is the sculler there in the sky blue of the Sydney Rowing Club, Nicholas Whalen, who certainly is still our race leader. The action really happening, but behind him, he's coached by Donovan Seck, Shane Mulvaney and Felix Dew, the sculler from Sydney. And then that battle unfolding on the very calm water behind him still here at the Sydney International Regatta Centre on the second morning of the National Championships for 2024, as we do see our leading sculler come through the 1500 metre mark. So still it is Nicholas Whalen who does lead it. Then it would be Harry Selfinger of Swan River into second place. About a length or so now clear of a very tight race for third between Cameron Parker and Joshua Matheson. The scullers in lane 4 from Scotch Oakburn and lane 6 from Wendouree Ballarat. Lennox Tune is there in fifth spot for the University of Queensland, but probably outside of the qualifying range, you would think, with just 2 to go through. But it certainly is the sculler from New South Wales and Western Australia, Nicholas Whalen and Harry Selfinger, now looking to be our relatively clear top 2, but I think you'll find the scullers just behind. Then we'll throw everything at them in the closing strokes. It's really all or nothing now. They've got about 350 minutes to go, and just the top 2 will progress in this event through to tomorrow's semi-finals.
As we just see a pelican fly off the course, he was sitting right behind.
Wisely evacuated just in time.
Yeah, Cameron Parker there. It was sitting just in behind them and took off just in time. Swan River, Harry Selfinger has really started to put a bit of a push on, but it's still the Sydney Rowing Club sculler Nicholas Whalen. So that's our 1 and 2 at the moment, just separating themselves from the pack. Then we've got over on the left-hand side, closest to the screen in lane 6, Joshua Matheson from Wendouree Ballarat, sitting in third place, although it would be a bit of a push now with about 200.
He's finishing well, the sculler from Ballarat.
But 200 metres or 150 metres or so left to go. It is our 2 leading scullers, Nicholas Whalen and Harry Selfinger from Sydney and Swan River. We can hear the cheers coming now from the grandstand, exhorting their sculler home. But our leading 2, it's a big push coming here from Joshua Matheson from Wendouree Ballarat. He's about a boat length behind, though, with a couple of strokes left. It will be Nicholas Whalen from Sydney who takes the win ahead of Harry Selfinger from Swan River. Joshua Matheson from Wendouree Ballarat coming through in third ahead of Cameron Parker from Scotch Oakburn College. Fifth place will go to the University of Queensland's Lennox Tune, with Augustin Sullivan Arklis in sixth place, and then Johan Tan from Toowong Rowing Club will cross the line in seventh, as we just see Augustin Sullivan Arklis crossing over now, and then over on the far side, Johan Tan. So Nicholas Whalen and Harry Selfinger, our 2 qualifiers in Repechage 3 of the men's under-21 single scull. Winning time there, unofficial, for Nicholas Whalen of 7 minutes 21.81 and a margin of just over half a second back to second.
How good, to use another cliche, how good will the semi-finals be at this event, the under-21 men's single scull, with some great racing there in the repechages of the event, the 4th of which is now underway, race 120 on the regatta program. It is lane 2, Charles Clark from Griffith University Surfers Paradise, lane 3, Sam Chin from Mercantile, lane 4 from Adelaide University, Jude Shermer, lane 5 from Fremantle, Jacob Cassie, and lane 6 from Sydney Uni, Alexander Page, scratching from the sculler on lane 7, so a field of 5, and once again just 2 spots on offer. And if it's anything like the previous couple of repechages, they'll be very, very hard fought for. As just gone through halfway now, 1,000 metres done. It is Charles Clark who leads it across on lane 2 for Griffith University Surfers Paradise, ahead of Jude Shermer from Adelaide University and Jacob Cassie from Fremantle were our top 3, but again, Stuart, pretty tight there at the halfway mark.
Yeah, not a lot to pick between them. Jacob Cassie about a boat length back from Jude Shermer in third place. So a little bit of work left to do if he is to try and go through, as we just see them there coming up towards the 1,250 metre mark. So out in front, you've closest to the camera, we've got Alexander Page from Sydney University. Behind him, Jacob Cassie from Fremantle, and then Jude Shermer out in front ahead of, it looks to be Charles Clark from Griffith University Surfers Paradise. So they're our leaders through the first, 3/5/8?
Yes, thereabouts.
Jazz time. 5/8 or 7?
Complicated maths going on, but yes, exactly right. They're heading into the pretty much the final third of the race, maybe now as well, as they continue down these very calm waters here. Still that light tail breeze we can see, but very, very good conditions for single sculling here today at the Sydney International Regatta Centre. And it does look like it's still the scullers there in the centre lanes. The timing system said that Charles Clark led it at the halfway mark across there from Griffith Uni Surfers Paradise, and he's a couple of lanes away from the action in the centre of the course, but we'll get a better look here now as they come through 1,500 metres if that order has indeed changed, and it's going to be the lane 4 sculler, Jude Shermer, definitely in front now by about 2 lengths, still ahead of Charles Clark from Griffith University on lane 2, so he's still in a qualifying spot but has dropped back from first to second and has just over a second now ahead of Jacob Cassie from Fremantle in third place, and quite a gap back to the other 3, or the other 2 in fact. Alexander Page is next, and then Sam Chin also for Mercantile. But once again, 3 scullers going for 2 qualifying spots. Jude Shermer looks to be well placed here for Adelaide Uni, but a very good race in prospect for second and third.
Yeah, we're seeing a few of these in this event. So our leading scullers out in front, or Jude Shermer out in front ahead of Charles Clark from Griffith University Surfers Paradise. And then we can see there, it does look like Charles Clark has just put in a little bit of a push there to try and keep clear of Jacob Cassie from Fremantle Rowing Club. The conditions you mentioned there, Richard, it is a little bit of a tail breeze at the moment, but only about 5 k's an hour. The temperature hasn't actually gone up as much as expected, but the humidity has gone down a little bit, so it will make it a little bit easier.
Excellent news
to breathe.
if one was planning on racing in the next hour or so, wouldn't it be?
I wasn't planning on racing.
You will be racing. Yeah, no, it does. So we're slightly spoiled here. I think I told you I sat in an unair-conditioned commentary box in Geelong for 3 days over the weekend with a lot of heat-emitting equipment around. This is very nice by comparison here in the air-conditioned comfort of the Sydney International Regatta Centre Tower.
You've got a box. Luxury. We've just got a shed.
Yes, no, it's well set up. But in any case, here comes the finish of this race, and the lane 4 sculler is still leading well. It is Jude Shermer from Adelaide Uni, and into second place now goes Jacob Cassie of Fremantle. So those 2 have come through strongly in the second half of the race and will qualify from this 4th repechage to the semis of the under-21 men's single scull. So Adelaide Uni first, Fremantle second. Third will go to the mid-race leader Charles Clark of Griffith University Surfers Paradise, who started strongly but couldn't quite stick with the leading 2 scullers. It'll be Sydney Uni in 4th place, Alexander Page, and 5th will go to the sculler who's disappeared from sight here. He
may have had an issue
and yes, may have
a little earlier in the piece. So only 4 finishing in that race. So Jude Shermer with the win. Jacob Cassie in second place. Those 2 19.36 seconds. Moving on to the 5th repechage for the men's under-21 single sculls, and it's a lot of Adelaide University. We've got lanes 2, 3 and 4, all from Adelaide University. Henry Belcher in lane number 2, Arthur Drayton in lane number 4, all 3. And Christine McLaren. Lane 5 from Sydney University, Hayden Mounter, coached by Don McLaughlin. Lane 6, Hawthorn's William Hexter. And then lane 7, Toowong's Nicholas Barlow, coached by Mark Game. So we can see our rowers just going through the early stages there. Nicholas Barlow leading by less than a second over Jasper Boyce, and then another second back to Henry Belcher. William Hexter in 4th place. We saw him in the double sculls yesterday, and then Hayden Mounter and Arthur Drayton. So not a lot to pick through the first 500 metres or so. Again, you would sort of expect to see that at the repechage.
Yeah, the camera certainly drawn to the flotilla of Adelaide Uni scullers there on the southern side of the course, and certainly 2 of those 3 are very much in contention for a qualifying spot. So it's Henry Belcher on the right of screen, the far side of the course, who was in 3rd spot at 500 alongside him, or 2 lanes across, Jasper Boyce. And there's our race leader coming through in the distinctive colours of the Toowong Rowing Club from Brisbane, coached by Mark Game. That is Nicholas Barlow, who has extended his lead comfortably now in the second 500 metres out to about 3 lengths or so. It would be 3:33.39. He stops the clock at halfway, and he's got 5.74 seconds on Jasper Boyce, who is still there in second, and Henry Belcher in 3rd, both for Adelaide University. And William Hexter of Hawthorn was the next sculler for the first 1,000 metres.
Yeah, and it was, you could see there going through the 1,000 metre timing point, it was nice and tight between all of them. So again, you know, you talk about the big book of commentary cliches, but the premiership quarter, That is that opportunity, though. You do see, and we saw it in that last repechage with the Griffith University Surfers Paradise sculler. He was out in front early, seemed to use all his energy to get out into the lead, and it did mean that he wasn't able to hold off that late charge from the Fremantle sculler. And so it really is that whole thing about trying to conserve your energy, not using everything through the first 500, because it's the order you cross the finish line.
The rest of the race still to go, yeah, exactly. But so we have seen a couple of these repechages. A sculler in an outside lane coming through strongly at the beginning, and of course these repechages are seeded based on the heat results. So of course the heat winners, the top couple of the heats have gone straight through to the semis, but the remainder of the field is seeded based on their heat results. So you'd expect the leaders to come from the middle of the course, but not always the case. And we almost saw Griffith University outsmart the seedings in the previous repechage, and Henry Belcher of Adelaide Uni trying to do the same here. And of course, Nicholas Barlow of Toowong, who place in his heat. There may have been an issue with that race yesterday morning because he's pretty comfortably clear here, the sculler from Brisbane, well clear on lane 7 as he now comes through 1500, and that lead just grows and grows and grows for Nicholas Barlow. It is a great race, but for second and third, that's the battle for the second qualifying spot. And William Hexter of the Hawthorn Rowing Club it is, who's come through into second place, has now ahead of Jasper Boyce, Henry Belcher, and also Hayden Mounter, the sculler from New South Wales from Sydney University. I was going to say he was at Tasmania. I think possibly moved to Sydney Uni this year. Maybe Hayden Mounter, now coached by Donald McLaughlin, part of the ongoing interstate migration that's happening around the country now.
Yeah, Hayden Mounter, as you say, down in Tasmania last year, so he's now made the move up to Sydney, training with the guys out at Sydney University. So it's chasing the opportunities, really. Indeed. It's where you've got the high performance clubs where they've got the professional coaches in there. You're in with the squads. You're really being pushed hard. So it does. It means moving to the big smoke for a lot of our rowers from around the country. Certainly down in the ACT, we've got something similar. A lot of people follow the bright lights, move up to Sydney, move down to Melbourne. But there's still, the great thing that we're seeing throughout this is that there's still plenty of great rowers that are based in each of the capitals.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and you see that here at this. We've just got to look through the list of clubs coming up in the program. It's not just the big Sydney and Melbourne clubs. We're getting results from around the country. And here it's a club from Brisbane, the Toowong Rowing Club, who are going to record a win in this fifth and final repechage of the under-21 men's single scull. So Nicholas Barlow will come across in a few strokes' time. Will, I think, come up into second place. Has come through very strongly ahead of the Adelaide Uni Brigade on the far side of the course. He takes out the second qualifying spot. Third then looks like it will go to Henry Belcher of Adelaide Uni, lane 2, just ahead of Jasper Boyce. Then the blue boat in 5th place would be Hayden Mounter, and then in 6th, lane 4, that is Jasper Boyce, in fact, in 6th place. Arthur Drayton, I should say, finished in 4th for Adelaide University.
Confirmation of the results from race 121, the 5th repechage of the men's under-21 single sculls. A win for Nicholas Barlow, second to William Hexter, with those two crews going through to the semi-finals in a winning time of 7 minutes 19.36. As we move on now to the first heat of the women's under-21 coxless pairs. First and second through to the A final, with the rest going through to the repechage. Lane 1 from Melbourne University, Tiffany Crosthwaite and Chloe Nevins. In lane 2 from North Esk, Tess Clower and Leela Hucker, coached by Trevor Barrett. In lane 3 from Adelaide University, Deanna Macalino and Zara Hoadley, coached by Christine McLaren, Nicholas Mitchell and Sam Morton. Lane 4 from Melbourne University, Thea Cool and Olive Pascoe. Lane 5 from Melbourne University, Meg Dumbrell and Jemima Wilcox. Lane 6 from Melbourne University, Emily McComb and Felicity Murray. And Lane 7 from Wendouree Ballarat and the University of Queensland, Georgia Montague and Lucy Richardson. And they're coached by Jamie McDonald and Phil Bergignon.
That's a new combination, Stuart, that just appeared, I think, at the Victorian State Championships, possibly the first time I saw them race. Georgia Montague, of course, from Queensland, and Lucy Richardson from Wendouree Ballarat. Both represented Australia last year in the World Junior Championships, and they certainly combined with some success at the Victorian State Championships on Lake Wendouree. And we assumed that was as part of a Nationals campaign, and that's exactly as it's playing out here. That's the combination on lane 7, the Wendouree Ballarat University of Queensland crew, who do lead this, or did lead after 500 metres and continue to do so now. They're putting quite a gap back on the field. Right across on the other side is 4 entrants here from Melbourne Uni, and it's Crossthwaite and Nevins over there on lane 1 who might be in second place. But Montague and Richardson will come across with a pretty strong lead there from Melbourne Uni in second place. They'll also be third, so Melbourne Uni with plenty of chances here to claim a qualifying spot, with just 2 to go through here to the A final of the under-21 women's Cox's pair.
Yeah, that's Melbourne University crew Tiffany Crossthwaite and Chloe Nevin sitting quite comfortably in second. It's worthwhile pointing out, whereas in the repechage we would expect to see the crews in the middle lanes to be the quickest crews, we're back to heat, so it's a random draw. You'll find that in this particular instance, our 2 leading crews are in lane 1, which is away from the camera, away from the grandstand, and lane 7, which is the closest to the grandstand, closest to the camera. So that's why it can be a little bit more varied within the heats as to who actually goes through and takes the W.
Yeah, the random draw at its finest. Just 2 heats here, and then we go back to repechage racing for, I think, the remainder of the morning. But they've snuck in 2 heats just to check if we were paying attention. And of course, Stuart, you were. And you're off to have a race now too, I think. So thank you for your time this morning. We look forward to seeing you out on the third 500 of this race, and it does look increasingly to be Georgia Montague from the University of Queensland and Lucy Richardson of Wendouree Ballarat who lead this race. Lucy Richardson was part of the very strong program at the Ballarat Clarendon College, and won a number of head of the schoolgirls and national and state titles in recent years in the red of Ballarat Clarendon, now racing for the similar red of the Wendouree Ballarat Rowing Club in the stroke seat of that combination. And Georgia Montague of the University of Queensland Boat Club, a student until last year at the St Margaret's Anglican Girls' School in Brisbane, very much a powerhouse in Brisbane Schoolgirls Rowing Association regattas up there, and she was the winner of the Year 12 single scull at the head of the river that was held back at Lake Warralong in August of last year. We think the recently confirmed Olympic course it will be for the 2032 Brisbane Games, depending how you read the report that came out yesterday from former Brisbane Lord Mayor Graham Quirk. But in any case, that is certainly our leading combination. And Melbourne University over on the far side of the course, Tiffany Crossthwaite and Chloe Nevins would be in second place over in lane 1, also in a qualifying spot ahead of Adelaide University at this stage, third on lane 3, and then 2 more Melbourne Uni crews, lanes 5 and 6, as we welcome back to the commentary box resplendent in volunteer yellow, Ben Homer.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah, I'm loving this yellow, isn't it? You certainly don't get missed.
It's a great colour. It's a good shade of yellow. It's not too high vis. It's just you can wear that happily for years afterwards, not just this regatta.
Exactly. What about the shoes? They match nicely.
You've got matching footwear, so you must have had some inside information. Always fashionable, Ben. I have no doubt. Here comes this combination from Wendouree Ballarat and University of Queensland into the last now 150 metres of this race. So this combination that raced well, certainly on the waters of Lake Wendouree. I think they may have done some training in Ballarat prior to the Victorian Championship regatta, and now here looking to record a pretty comfortable heat win in this opening heat of the under-21 women's Cox's pair. The first of 2 heats it will be of this event before we return to some repechages. Second place important here, with only first and second going to the A final, and it still looks to be Melbourne Uni on the other side of the course. Tiffany Crossthwaite and Chloe Nevins there ahead of Emily McComb and Felicity Murray in third, then Adelaide University fourth. But the win will go to the Victorian Queensland composite crew. Georgia Montague and Lucy Richardson take out the first heat of the under-21 women's Coxless pair. Second will indeed go to lane 1, Tiffany Crossthwaite and Chloe Nevins for Melbourne University. So they're through directly to the A final of this race, which will take place, I suspect, on Friday's program. Third, almost stopping early, but getting across for third, in any case, was the Adelaide University combination there of Deanna Macalino and Zara Hoadley. Fourth place then was Melbourne Uni, lane 6. McComb and Murray ahead of lane 5, Dumbrell and Wilcox. Sixth place will go to Northwest, Tess Clower and Layla Hucker. And 7th from Melbourne University with 4 crews in the race, Thea Cool and Olive Pascoe. 7:33.03, the unofficial winning time there for Georgia Montague and Lucy Richardson of Wendouree Ballarat. They're coached by Jamie McDonald and Phil Bourguignon. Our second heat is underway in the under-21 women's coxless pair. Again, it's a field of 7 here, a bit more diverse than the previous heat with 4 crews from Melbourne Uni. So Swan River and the West Australian Rowing Club, a composite crew there in lane 1, Sydney Uni in lane 2, University of Queensland lane 3, Adelaide Rowing Club lane 4, Mercantile in 5, Mercantile Melbourne Uni composite lane 6, and the University of Queensland racing in lane 7. And they are into, Ben, the Premiership quarter.
Yeah, the third 500 always so important, and I can tell you through the first 2 checkpoints, no change in the standings in this. So the crew, Reddy and Hutton, who led 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way through down to 7th. It's exactly this Premiership. Those top 2 spots, so top 2 to the A final. I'm just having a look at the margin here between 2nd and 3rd. It was 3.78 at the 1K. So this is always really instructive, isn't it? If that gap closes, you think, well, 3rd are a red hot chance, but if it widens, it becomes almost a bridge.
Absolutely, yep. No, it's so rapidly runs out, and they're heading towards the 1500 metre mark here now, and we will get a check on where these crews. It still looks to be University of Queensland out in front by around about a boat length as they will come through now. The crew from the University of Queensland, Alice Reedy and Tyler Hutton, there coached by Phil Bourguignon, who co-coached the winning crew in the previous heat as well. And then 2nd place was Sydney University, Alexandra O'Brien and Alyssa Fickers, who were coached by Alan Bennett and Alfie Young. University of Queensland also there in 3rd place back on this grandstand side of the course with Edie Russell and Ruby Dollar. Then Mercantile were 4th, Imogen Nation and Grace Ivers. Then the all-West Australian composite crew in lane 1 of Elise Moreau-Barrett and Isabel Edinger, coached by Mark Beer. So as Stuart said during the previous race, this is a heat. It's not a seeded race, a random draw, which is why our leaders are literally all over the course here.
Yeah, and I can tell you there has been a little shift from 4th to 3rd, that Uni of Queensland, Russell and Dollar, but it was a 6.66 second gap. That's the crew in lane 7, so closest to this grandstand side of the course. Looks even from the naked eye that Mercantile might be coming back at them. Those two have been very close throughout this race, but as you can see, the top 2, Rich, they're doing things nicely at the moment. Hutton and Reddy and O'Brien and Fickers, Uni of Queensland, Sydney Uni, 2 very strong rowing clubs.
The second and final heat here of this event, it will be just the top 2 going through to the A final. So for the rest of the field, there'll be a repechage tomorrow, but for 1st and 2nd, they'll go all the way. Second day of finals racing here. And they are in company in the first rep with Wendouree Ballarat, the race winners there. And it's going to be this time around Alice Reedy and Tyler Hutton, who are well inside the red boys here, about 2 lengths clear of the combination from Sydney Uni in lane 2. They will be our qualifiers from the second and final heat of the under-21 women's coxless pair. So University of Queensland across in 1st place, alongside them in lane 2. Second does go to Sydney Uni. They'll go through to the final on Friday. So the repechage go to the rest of the field. Edie Russell and Ruby Dollar in 3rd place for the University of Queensland. 4th will be lane 5, that's Mercantile, who couldn't quite make up any more of that gap. The West Australian composite crew lane 1 will finish in 5th place. And then 6th and 7th will go to Mercantile Melbourne Uni in 6th place, and 7th will be Adelaide Rowing Club in lane 4. 7:38.80, the unofficial winning time there, 3.90 seconds the margin between 1st and 2nd, about 5 seconds slower than the first heat, which was won by Georgia Montague and Lucy Richardson.
So under 21 men's coxless pair coming up next, and we've got the repechage in this event. So The top 4 through to the semi-final, the rest eliminated. We've got 6 crews in this race. In lane 2, Nick Adkins and Benjamin Vandenberg from Mercantile and Melbourne University. In lane 3, Matt McCarthy and Luke Porteous from Swan River, coached by Neville Kempton. In 4, Tasmania University, Falcon Palmer and Archie Stewart, coached by Andrew Palmer. Lane 5, also Tasmania University, Jonathan Voss and Rowan Sanderson, coached by Andrew Palmer. Toowong in 6, Joseph Petrie-Repar and Cooper O'Rourke, coached by Mark Game. And in lane 7, Commercial from Queensland, John Morrissey and Jake Gilmore, coached by Stephen Pozzi. So here we go, Richard, pretty cutthroat now. Repechage time, top 4 to the semi-final, rest eliminated. So you've got to give it everything here, otherwise you're heading home. And, well, at least out of this event, I should say. Plenty more events to come. But that gap between 4th and 5th, it's the... that is the cliff edge. Mercantile and Melbourne University just holding on to that 4th spot at the moment by about a few seconds. So it looked like a comfortable margin with about 550 to travel.
It does, yes. So just one repechage required in this event now. There were 2 originally on the program, but one repechage means 4 will go through from this race. And it is the red boat there of the Tasmania University Boat Club, narrowly from Commercial. 1st and 2nd, so Tas Uni in lane 5, Jonathan Voss and Rowan Sanderson, the top combination. Then Commercial, John Morrissey and Jake Gilmore. The second boat from Tasmania University Boat Club was in 3rd, Falcon Palmer and Archie Stewart. And then the All-Victorian composite crew there in 4th, Nick Adkins of Melbourne Uni, Benjamin Vandenberg of Mercantile. Ahead then of Swan River and Toowong, the remaining 2 combinations in this race, with now about 300 and... Top 4 will go through to semi-final in this particular event as well. The under-21 men's at Coxless pair now nearing its conclusion.
Yeah, so it was about 6 seconds at that 1500 checkpoint. And the crew that needs to make up the ground, Swan River, Matt McCarthy, Luke Porteous, they're just sitting back there a little further. So it's all on this. I'll have other events as well, so I'll no doubt be thinking about that, but they'll want to try and close the gap. But they're running out of water, aren't they, heading into this last 250 metres?
Great finish from Commercial here too on the grandstand side. They've taken the lead, it looks like, from here.
Yeah, it looks as though they've just overtaken the red boat in the middle of the course. Certainly there's a push coming from Swan River. Is it going to be too late, though?
We'll find out soon. Mercantile, Melbourne Uni, I think they've seen the challenge there on the far side of the course. They're holding still into 4th spot. Swan River and Toowong at this stage in danger of missing out, but it's pretty tight between all of our top crews here. John Morrissey and Jake Gilmore will come home over the top of the Tasmania University red boat and take the win here in repechage 1 of the under-21 men's Coxless pair. They win it by 2 lengths, so a very good finish, although I think the lane 5 crew knew they were comfortably in a qualifying spot. Tasmania University Boat Club finished 2nd and 3rd. Lane 5 beats home lane 4, and 4th does go to the All-Victorian composite Mercantile, Melbourne Uni. Adkins and Vandenberg there ahead of Swan River 5th, and 6th place going to Toowong.
Just left themselves a little bit too much work to do, didn't they, McCarthy and Porteous? Really strong finish. They cut that gap down by about 3 to 4 seconds. I know Mercantile, Melbourne Uni maybe just easing off a touch, but it was an impressive finish from them. So
it was, and they'll set themselves up hopefully for a good rest of the regatta in whatever other events they may find themselves in as well. But Commercial there coming home over the top of the field to win the one and only repechage of the under-21 men's Coxless pair.
Does that mean we have to pad for a bit here, Richard? Because we've got to
just chat amongst ourselves quietly for a couple of minutes. What can possibly go wrong? Yes, our next race is time for 10:55, and our ever-astute director takes us straight to the start line where there's some boats waiting to go. A great shot there, and there's the shade of yellow, most importantly. For those who can't see Ben Homer alongside me, that's the yellow he's resplendent in on the start blocks there, our volunteers, and we